If you make videos for YouTube and you want to make money from what it is that you're doing, and it doesn't matter if you're just getting started or if you already have experience with, YouTube and making money from YouTube, but you want to take it even farther, then make sure that you stick around and that you watch this. Even if you're watching this on the replay, make sure that you skip around and that you find the information in here that is the best fit for you. But what we're doing in this stream is I'm actually pulling up YouTube channels, and I'm going to basically just pull them up as we go along. And this is all going to be based on feedback that I get, right here in the chat. And as we pull these up, one of the things that we're doing, actually the only thing we're doing, is we're focusing on all of the different ways that a content creator can make money from their YouTube channel and opportunities that they're missing out on that they could have, or that they should be tapping into with the content that they're putting out. So again, it doesn't matter if you have experience on YouTube or if you are just getting started. This is not about just getting into the YouTube partner program. This is about all of the other things that you can do to make money from the content that you are already making. So if you want to make more money, then make sure from the content that you're making, make sure that you stick around for this live stream. Now, before we get into this today, I do want to let everybody know that this stream is brought to you by Uscreen. Uscreen, just for those of you that are not familiar with Uscreen, they are a platform that allows content creators to sell their videos online and to build their own membership sites with a Netflix-like look and feel. Uscreen customers are from a variety of industries and backgrounds, as you can see right here on this particular page right here, and industries from fitness studios to education, news, music teachers, vloggers, kids entertainment, and anybody that wants to make money from their content, they can do it with Uscreen. Now, the really cool thing about this is they also have a mobile app that you can also have as part of your platform as well. So the way to think about Uscreen is they are kind of like your own Netflix, to where people can pay you a monthly fee in order to come in and participate with the extra content that you upload into Uscreen. So I'm also working on something for Uscreen as well, so I'm going to be sharing that with you, in the very near future. But for now, I just wanted to make sure that I brought that to your attention, because they are the ones that are making this stream possible, to make it easy for me to come in here and help all you guys for free in terms of figuring out how to monetize what it is that you're doing on YouTube. And of course, for those of you that are appropriate for Uscreen, they're definitely going to be on the list of different ways that you can monetize what it is that you're doing. But before we get into it, just so you know, some of the things that we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about crowdfunding, which is where you make it available for your viewers to donate to you or to give you money in exchange for another thing that you can do for them, another type of value. We're going to be talking about merch. We're going to be talking about affiliate marketing, sponsorships. We're going to be talking about digital products. We're going to be talking about services that you might be able to offer from your YouTube channel. We're going to be talking about physical products. We're going to be talking about on-platform stuff as well, if you are somebody that's already in the YouTube partner program. And of course, if it applies, we might even mention content licensing as well. So how this whole thing works, again, this is all completely free, courtesy of, myself and Uscreen. Thanks for their support. So what we're going to be doing, if this is your first time participating in this, is I'm going to give you a hashtag that you put into the chat. And when you put that hashtag in the chat, I'm going to pull something up on screen that's actually going to rotate through all different hashtags, and it's going to randomly pick somebody out of the chat. So anybody here can have their channel pulled up if you choose to participate. But here's the thing. Just so you know, I want to make sure that I am focusing the attention on the channels that are doing the things, in terms of you have the basic, channel set up properly. You are uploading on a consistent basis. You are focused on longer form content, because at the moment, of course, you can, apply some of this with YouTube Shorts as well, but it's just a little bit easier for some of it for long form content. So if you do have a Shorts only channel, I might just jump into it briefly, but most likely it's just going to be a really quick in and out. And most of the attention is going to be focused on the channels that are doing longer form content, where their videos can end up showing up in search or home pages or suggested videos or something like that, for continual traffic that will help them build up the revenue that they're able to generate from their YouTube channel. So it's the long game crowd. This is the ones that we're going after today. So as part of this, like I mentioned before, there is a tool to where you can put in a hashtag, and then it's going to randomly pick it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the first hashtag today, and I'm just going to drop it in the chat just for clarity in terms of, what it is. But it's Uscreen21 is the hashtag. If you go ahead and drop that into the comments right now, then what you're going to see is you're going to see right up here on this screen, you're going to see some of those, just starting to come in as we get those entries. So make sure that you do Uscreen21. And okay, we're up to 12 now. And basically, again, how this is going to work is when we look at your YouTube channel, we are going to, just based on experience working with other channels and also, having a lot of friends that are YouTubers and knowing how they monetize and all of that, plus ways that I monetize myself and so on. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking at the channel, and we're just going to be, saying, hey, these are opportunities that you're missing out on, or these are things that you need to be adding here or there, some clarity that you need to add in order for attention to be brought to these specific things. Those sorts of things is what we're going to be talking about today. So, I'm waiting on just a few more here, so we can have this cross the 50 mark before I hit the draw. So we're at 44 right now, waiting on just a few more here. And just as a heads up, if you did put in Uscreen21 already, if you put it in once, that's all you need to do because the system only counts you once, just as a heads up. Okay, we're at 50, so I'm going to draw this and let's see who the winner is today. And keep in mind, this is just the first person. So today during the stream, we're going to be streaming for about an hour, maybe a little bit longer. And during that time, I'm going to be, looking at several different YouTube channels. So if you didn't get pulled up this time, just as a heads up, we're going to be doing this again in terms of the, the spin here as soon as I get finished with this particular channel that we are looking at. So it looks like our winner here is Marie Martian Creations. So Marie, if you could just go ahead and just to make this easy on me and just drop a quick message in here, just so I can make sure that I can, find your channel really quickly. That would be really helpful on my end. I'm looking for it here in the chat, but if you could drop it in there, that would make it easier for me to find it. And again, if your channel didn't get pulled up for this, hang tight, because, you might be able to get in on the next one here. So I'm waiting for, okay, there she is. All right, Marie. So I've got you here and I'm going to just go ahead and pop your channel open. Okay, so you're at 42,000 subscribers. So in your case, you're already in the YouTube Partner Program, which is fantastic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to pull this up right now. We'll do it this way so I can stay on screen here just a little bit. There we go. Okay. So here in your particular case, we've got your subscribe here. We've got this with you trying to drive people over into Amazon so you can get them cookie there. You're already monetizing here by sending people to Etsy. What is this? Revelry. I'm not familiar with that particular one. And then you have Instagram. So right out of the gate, the first thing I would do, because, in your particular case, you're getting, some regular views on your videos and all of that. But I would keep everything that you're doing right here on your YouTube channel. I would keep this right now. I would just keep everything focused on the things that will bring direct value to you. So for example, like this actually converts extremely well, having this particular subscribe button up here. But one thing that I would do is if you are trying to generate revenue as the primary goal for, the next 90 days, as an example, then in that particular case, I would just kind of swap these around a little bit. And I would go in and I would just look for the places that convert the best for you in terms of, if it's Etsy, if it's Amazon, whatever it is. And I would order these based on the thing that typically converts most for you. And the reason that I would do that is because right now, you are focusing on the subscribe, and that's the opportunity to put that word in there, right? So you have that, telling people to subscribe. So for example, if this is going to an Amazon store, which I'm going to check right here in a second, but if this is going to an Amazon store, then in that particular case, check out my Amazon store or check out my store might be a better call to action there to where you might be able to, increase the amount of people clicking into that, or check out my Etsy shop or whatever the priority is for you in that particular situation. But let me close this. And I'm just going to open this up really quick so I can see what it is that you got. Okay, so this is your stuff. Okay, so you're doing a lot of, it looks like, what is this? Nail type things. Oh, you got like all kinds of random stuff in here. Okay, fantastic. Because you are doing, I'm just going to look at your channel here really quick. Beaded necklaces. We've got some live streams in here. How to make chains. Tassels. Okay, so it looks like you're doing a lot of jewelry related content. You've got crochet stuff in here. You've got keychains in here. Okay, so I see what's going on. So basically what you're doing is you're making stuff and then you are bringing awareness to it from your YouTube channel to drive people into your Etsy store. It's fantastic. So in that particular case, one thing that I would definitely do is I would make sure that you are paying attention to which one is converting for you better based on the traffic that you are sending it. As long as Etsy gives you those stats. Same with this one. I would just make sure whichever one is converting the best for you is the one that you put up here. And really, to take that even a layer further, you might want to put individual tracking links on each one of these so that you can see which one converts better just from this particular spot. So that's just something to consider there. The next thing is right here, you have welcome to my channel, come through and subscribe. You can see how that gets truncated right here on the channel page. So just as a heads up, since you can see right here on my view that this does get truncated, and I'm just seeing this, like this isn't about like how to set up your channel properly. This whole stream's about monetization, but I do have to mention it because I see it. I can't just go right past it. So right here, you see how it's getting truncated. I would just make that a little bit shorter. So it's just more, so it's just easy to read and just crystal clear right there in your channel page. But one thing to keep in mind is that right here, you have this explanation of what's going on in your channel, and you are, putting this like, custom text in here. Really, I would make this text just as simple to read as you possibly can. And I would also let them know, because keep in mind, the people that are going to be landing on this page, they're going to be landing on this page because somebody shared the link with them and they're going to come in that way. Because you shared the link on like your social media account or something like that. So they're going to come in that way and land here, or from watching one of your videos and then they click on your channel name and then they end up here from that. So because of that, one thing that I would make sure to consider here is that you could use this, since you're using it right now as a channel trailer, you could use this as also as a way to get this Etsy link in here. Because right now what you're doing is you're putting your Gmail account here, which, just as a heads up, make sure that this is not the one that's connected to your YouTube channel. This is a security measure. Make sure this is not the one that's connected to your YouTube channel. Also, when you have them publicly like this in text format, it makes it easy for like, spam bots and all that to actually scrape it. So because of that, instead of having this displayed here, well, you can still keep it displayed there. Just make sure it's not like your main email address, because there are times to where, you can end up just getting your email flooded with a bunch of junk just because it's publicly available and they can scrape it. So just make sure that you are, just being mindful of that. I just wanted to share that just in case you didn't know. But what I really want to focus you on here, though, is what you can do is here you have this video here, the ones new to the channel, blah, blah, all that's fine. If you change this back to the normal text size, then what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to put that blurb up here. And then another thing that you can do, and again, this is important in your case specifically, because if somebody's coming in either from a recommendation in terms of somebody saying, hey, you got to check out this channel, or from one of your links, they're already familiar with you and they're coming in that way, or they have already watched one of your videos and they love your stuff, so they're going to come here and check out the channel from there. So when they come in that way, what you want to make sure that you're thinking about is, okay, I'm going to have this little blurb up here in terms of like, hey, this is what's going on in the channel. But then I'm also going to put a little bit of information right here that says, hey, if you watched one of my videos and you loved the thing that I made, check out my Etsy store here. And then you put a link right here. And then what that does is that takes your channel page and that gives you one additional link going off to the particular thing of your choice. But it's not something that is kind of crammed up in the corner and kind of distracted by your channel art. It's actually put into an area of focus right here next to your channel trailer. So I would definitely, make sure that you're considering that as well. But if you're not going to do that, then I would keep everything else on the page here. I would keep all of that just focused directly on the actions that people can take on YouTube, or something where you'll get a direct benefit. So sending them over to Instagram, there's not a direct benefit there. Technically, it could be long game wise if you do have like an email set up there in terms of they hit your bio link there to sign up for some email or something. In that case, if that's kind of like a long play, it's fine. But like a follower versus sending people to like a store, I would definitely focus on the store stuff. So as we keep on going down the page here, just one quick tip that I want to give you, because you are making a lot of stuff. You've already got your Etsy store set up. So you're like already, pretty deep into this. So another thing that I would definitely consider as well when it comes to the actual channel page, and this is something that I didn't mention on the last stream. So when it comes to your channel page, if you do find, and this is where using like Google UTM links and tracking things, or at least, checking the amount of clicks that you're getting through bouncing this off of your own website or something like that, and being able to track all the links that you have going out. What you can do is, as you start figuring out on your content, like, hey, these particular videos drive a lot of attention and a lot of sales, or at least a lot of clicks to the different stores that I have, or to my Etsy store, to my Amazon store, something like that. then in that particular case, instead of having your popular uploads here, I would move that down one. This is right, having your uploads up here at the top, that you're doing the right thing there. But the next playlist that I would put down here, if your goal is monetization, if your goal is viewer experience for this next 90 days, then in that particular case, what I would do is I would make sure that you're putting the content there that typically, just adds a lot of value to people. Maybe it generates more subscribers, you get more watch time on those, that type of stuff. But if your goal is like, hey, I want to inflate my revenue here over the next 90 days because we're rolling into the holidays and all that, then in that particular case, I would actually put another playlist here based on videos that typically drive sales, and I would have those as the next up underneath your uploads playlist. So then you have videos that have been proven to drive sales for you that you're actually showcasing near the top of your channel page. And the reason that it's important to do near the top of your channel page underneath that uploads playlist is because if you hit your phone on a mobile device, you're going to see that you got to scroll a decent amount in order to get through a channel page on a phone. So because of that, it ensures that content that typically drives revenue is a little bit higher up on the channel page. So you're increasing the likelihood of people being able to run across it, right? That's the idea. So, so that's those on the channel page. But keep in mind, you can also do that same thing where you put that same, playlist or, different variations of it. So you have my jewelry stuff that typically sells best. I'm going to have that here. My crochet patterns that typically sell great, I'm going to put those here, that type of thing. You can break it down in that way as well. So then you're kind of marrying the two concepts of, I'm making it easy for people to find the content they care about, but then I'm also designing these playlists and I'm manually sorting them based on the content that also converts well for me if I'm in a season of trying to, generate more revenue from the channel. Let's see here. So let's get into one of your video descriptions. So it looks like these are streams. So I'm going to skip into an actual video itself. And we're going to go down here. Love your set. Super colorful. Yeah, love how that looks. Absolutely love it. Good lighting. Everything looks great. So the next up on this list is here you have, just as a quick heads up, and this is one of those things that I can't, just kind of gloss over. So one of the things that you have here is you have what's this video about? And then you have all of this stuff below the fold and join my Discord, send me an email, all of this. So one thing that I recommend that you consider here is just writing an actual video description because literally nothing is showing up here. So because of that, make sure that you do put a video description here because that is something that the system uses as a little bit of extra clarity for what your content might be about. But more importantly, viewers will also see that. So one thing that you can also do here is because you do have, a character limit that shows up here. Let me scroll down here and close this really quick. So because you do have a character limit here, one thing that you can also do if you chose to, because you do have this entire area here that you can fill out with text, is you can fill out enough text in the first two lines to, to describe the video for the people that are coming into it. But then right underneath that, you could have a, check out my Etsy store here. And then by doing that, you're taking a page that doesn't have any links going off to your Etsy store, and you're putting one link right here to your Etsy store or your Amazon store, whichever one it is that you prioritize here. You would put that right above the show more option here so that as people were going down to leave comments, that kind of stuff, they would see it. And the people that were just reading that part of the description, they would also see it, and that would spread awareness about the store that you have, right? That would be the goal there. And then as we keep on going down through this, another thing that you can do just as an option to, push more people down into your video description, another thing that you can do is when you're filling out your video description here, you can just make all of it normal text. And then at the end of that description, you can put in all caps, open description for more resources, or open description for more, or helpful links or helpful resources in the description, something like that, so that you are informing people to actually open up the description to check out what you have down there. So what you do right there is, in everything that we're talking about right now, is you, on the home page, we added an additional link over there based on what it is you're trying to do. We've removed some links. If you follow, that advice, of course, that's up to you. But you've removed some links that might actually distract people instead of keeping them involved on your channel and or going and purchasing something. And then here on this particular page, we've added a description, which will help you, just in general. And then we have two different options there. One is directly linking to the thing that you're trying to bring attention to, and then the next one is just trying to get people to open the description with that particular call to action there. But as we keep on going down the list here, we've got this about the Discord, and then you have this on all of your links that are going out here for your supplies. And I'm just going to open this up really quick and see what you have. Okay, so you're linking out to Amazon for all these. That's fantastic. So, and it looks like you are tracking some of these, but maybe other ones, you know, not so much. So because of that, I would definitely, if you are going to prioritize, like some people don't care. They're just like, hey, I'm just going to give value. And then, you know, as I'm giving this value and people are coming into my content, then in that particular case, you know, as they're clicking stuff, that's fine. As long as they're clicking, as long as I can see that there's hits coming in, that's fine. Other people are very strategic about it. I used to be this way, but now I'm just more casual. But in the past, you know, when you are putting all this stuff behind links, it can really start to inform you on your YouTube channel, especially as you're in that come up process, which you are right now. It can really start to inform you on the content that you're making that actually converts well for you compared to content that you're making that adds a lot of value, but doesn't necessarily convert well for you, so that you can kind of break all of that stuff down when it comes to putting your content strategy together and make sure that you're putting out the right content at the right times based on what it is that you're trying to accomplish on the channel. But that's a whole other conversation. But the idea is just to make sure that you are tracking, you know, everything as much as you can. So if you want to support the channel monetarily, click here. So this is probably your membership, which is good that you have memberships enabled. Oh, it's not going there for some reason. Hold on, let me just click it here. Interesting. Yeah, you might want to check that link. It might be my location because I'm in Thailand, so it might be my location that's redirecting me, but we can join like memberships and all that here. So it could just be my location, but I would just double check that link to make sure that you're all clear. So yeah, I try my best to provide info. That's fine. Intro and outro music, all of that's good. Disclaimers, you got that in there. Okay, fantastic. So first off, just to mention it, like you know, with the text that you have in here, like all this is fine. It does become a little bit hard to read. So if you are, you know, with some of these things trying to add like calls to action to get people to go and, you know, participate in the different things that you're doing, I would definitely make sure that you are making those particular things as easy to read as possible, because the more you complicate things or the more fancy you make it, the more difficult it is for people to comprehend what's actually going on, and the less you're going to, you know, be able to convert people and all that good stuff. So I would definitely make sure that you are just being crystal clear there and that everything is as easy to read as possible. I would actually go back to YouTube's default text for everything, just for that particular reason, outside of just general formatting. Like how you're putting like these, you know, these sections in here, that's fine. But as you can see right here, that's like really hard to read. So just don't do any, you know, calls to action in that particular font. But based on the content that you are putting out and based on this video that we're looking at here, one of the things, you know, right out of the gate, if we start, you know, going through this, it looks like right here, you're linking out to supplies and you have the option for them to support the channel in some way. But I don't see anything here. You've got, you know, video editing essentials where you're sharing stuff about, you know, you've got merch in here too. That's good. So we'll go ahead and mark that off the list. You've got, you know, a lot of physical products here, which is fantastic. But one thing that I would definitely consider as well, especially since you are doing like, you know, crafty type of things, you can also make a PDF guide available for download based on like all of your recommended products or, you know, something along those lines. And as part of that, then they would opt into an email to where as part of that email opt-in, then they would be able to go and, you know, basically sign up to where you would let them know like, hey, I'm keeping an eye on any deals that are happening in the crafting world. And I'm just kind of keeping you up to date on, you know, what's going on. And by doing that, what you do is you also start collecting emails of people so that so that you can reach out to them at any time. And so that you can kind of nurture them there while also nurturing them on your YouTube channel as well. So it just gives you that additional opportunity or that additional touch point with people if you know, did consider doing that type of thing. The next thing on the list, because you're already doing affiliate marketing, you're already doing merch, you do already have some crowdfunding in place. If that link that I clicked on that didn't work, if that was channel memberships, you do have some of that in place. I'm not sure if you're doing sponsorship, so I would definitely, you know, start walking down that path right now as well. At least start reaching out to some of the companies that make some of the products that you are featuring in your videos to see if they can at the very least hook you up with some free supplies or, you know, something like that, so that in that particular case, even if you're not making money from the sponsorships yet, because maybe average view counts or something like that, they can, if they see value in what it is that you're doing, then maybe at least they can hook you up with some supplies, which will kind of lower the costs that you have in order to make the content as well. Also, just as a heads up, other things that you can do here is, you know, you can have like classes that you put together. Those classes, you could do it in a bunch of different ways. So one of the ways that you could do it is you could have like a monthly class where, you took people through the entire process. I'm going to go full screen here on this particular conversation. But basically you can put together like a class that you do every month to where basically throughout the course of the month, you're promoting that class, because I see you're doing a lot of live streams. So you're promoting that class, you're letting people know that it's going to be happening and all of that, but you charge just a small fee for that particular class. And then you come in and everybody's like crafting together and you're taking them through a very specific thing. You can actually, as a part of that, you could even have like, a web page on your site that they go to if you have a website, or you could also do this in a PDF or some type of, download that they could get, to where if you had that class, if you were promoting it ahead of time, you could also make it available to where they could download all the different supplies that you're going to be using, through that PDF. And then you would be able to kind of have that available on the affiliate side too. So then that way, while you're setting up this class, you have this guide that you're putting out on all the supplies that people are going to need for that class if they want to follow it step by step. And then anybody that is interested in that can go ahead and get the supplies, get ready to go, and then come in and be a part of your community when you're doing those, paid like master classes that last like a few hours or whatever. In addition to that, another option that you have with what it is that you're doing, and keep in mind this one, I always like to mention that it's important to make sure that when it comes to monetizing your YouTube channel that you are thinking big, because people do a lot of really incredible things in terms of physical and digital products that they create on their own. So as a part of that, one thing that I did want to mention to you as well is because you are doing a lot of crafting things. So if it's not kind of in the cards right now, something that I would kind of push aside and say like, yeah, I might get to that later, but just go ahead and write it down as like a possible way that you can monetize. Another thing that I would look into is also finding like good resources where you can actually buy some of that stuff in bulk and then start reselling some of it with your, as part of your own brand in the future, like as your channel and influence grows and you grow stronger communities and stuff like that. That can also, be another way that you could monetize through physical products. As another part of that as well. Let's see, we got affiliate marketing, we've got physical products, we've got the digital products. Oh, the digital products. So one thing that I noticed, and you could have these in other videos, I'm not sure, but one thing that I also noticed is that since you are, making like patterns and things like that, also having for everything that you make, like a printable step-by-step guide to where people that, would like to watch the videos, they can do that. But then you could also make the downloadable guide available for people to where if they wanted to follow step-by-step there, it'd cost them like $2, right? Or $5 or something like that, to where they could just download it. They wouldn't need to watch the video outside of just watching it that once. And then they could download like a step-by-step guide that way. You can use Canva, to put all of that together. In fact, we've got Canva Classroom in here, and they actually teach, people how to use, Canva in a bunch of different ways. But when it comes to, that sort of thing, you'd be able to make something like that available for download as well if you're not already. So we spent some time on this one, so I'm gonna move on to another channel, but hopefully, that added some value to you in some way, and hopefully you can take some of those ideas and run with them. So if you're just joining the stream, hey Martin, what's up, man? Okay, so really quick, Calming Anxiety says, your thoughts on stopping ads on my channel to help growth, or will I just miss out as YouTube will do that anyway? Yeah, the ads on your channel aren't going to negatively impact your growth. So according to YouTube, ads on or off doesn't impact you either way. However, if you're wanting to use that as a form of monetization, I would definitely keep them on there because, when it comes to what it is that you're doing, I would only have it on the way in. I would not do mid-rolls, and that would be because of the viewer experience, right? Like if I'm coming in there to like listen to a guided meditation, I don't want to get hit with an ad from Toyota like mid-session, right? So because of that, I would definitely make sure that you are, not putting those as mid-rolls, but I would definitely do it for the ones on the way in. So what we're going to do is we are going to pull up another channel and we are going to look at that. If you're just joining the stream, what we're doing today is we are talking about YouTube monetization. Now, we're not talking about on-platform monetization. We're talking about other ways that you can monetize your content. So if you're an experienced content creator, you can get value from some of the things we're talking about there. If you're a brand new content creator, it's important that you know that YouTube has their on-platform monetization, but that's not the only way that you can make money from your YouTube channel. there's a lot of different ways and a lot of, things that you can do and a lot of creative things that you can do in order to, in order to make money from what it is that you're doing. So because of that, make sure that you are, writing down some of these ideas. And when I'm looking at another channel, start thinking to yourself, I wonder if I could do that for mine, okay? Because as part of this whole series, again, this is all brought to you by Uscreen.tv. I've got a link to them down in the description. But as part of this series, I'm also going to be showing you some of these, different platforms and, like giving you very specific solutions on if you're going to do this, then set it up here. If you're going to do this, you can set it up here, those types of things. So because of that, just make sure that you are, showing up to these streams so that you can learn a lot more about YouTube monetization and all the different ways that you can make money from the content that you're already making. So, okay, so the next one that we are going to go to on this list, let me go back here to this here and just kind of get this reset here. And I'm going to give you another hashtag. And again, just if you are just joining the stream, this stream today is brought to you by Uscreen. And Uscreen is a platform. It's kind of like a Netflix for your content. So the way that you can use it is if you have content you're already putting up on your YouTube channel, then you can use Uscreen as a place where you can put additional content that people can pay a monthly fee for. So this is especially helpful if you're making content like, let's say you're doing fitness content or you're, like Canva Classroom, like they could do it because they're teaching people something. But if you're teaching people anything, it would be fantastic. But also entertainment channels also have content up on Uscreen as well, and they'll drive their audience over that way also. But they've got like apps, they've got live streaming in there, so you can live stream directly to your community, all kinds of really cool stuff. But again, I've got a link to Uscreen down in the description, or you can just go to uscreen.tv. But the hashtag that we're going to be using for this particular draw is going to be Uscreen32. So if you want to go ahead and just drop that in there, I'm going to pull this up on screen right now. I'm going to hit to go ahead and start collecting those so that you can see those as we are, kind of getting ready for this next session that we're going to go through here. But what we're doing, if you are just joining us, is we are just talking about all the different ways that you can monetize what it is that you're doing on YouTube. Because, like Facebook, I don't know if you guys saw the news today, but Facebook just laid off like 11,000 people. We're sliding into some like very interesting times here. And I know that, as content creators, like if you want to keep doing this stuff, like if you look around my place, like all of these things, even this camera that I'm, using, or these cameras that I'm using to stream this, all of these things, kind of cut into your bottom line. So, as we start sliding into times that may or may not be, more difficult depending on, where you're at, with everything, then in that particular case, having, the ability to use the content that you're already making to generate an additional, $1,000 a month or $500 a month or $5,000 a month or even more. I'm sure that, for a lot of people that are hanging out here, who doesn't want an extra $1,000, a month or $5,000 a month or even more, depending on, what it is that you're doing and how aggressive you are about it. So let's see here. So we were up to 55 entries. So we're going to go ahead and draw. And let's see what we got. And again, the rules for this are you have to be uploading on a regular basis. The channel has to be like set up in terms of, you got to have like channel art. You got to have, some content on your channel page. So when people get there, they can see the different options you have and things like that. If it's not, then I'll just pull the channel up real quick and then we'll close it down and then we'll move over into, another channel. So it looks like Sticks is our winner here. So let me open up Sticks and let's see what they've got going on. I'm going to pull this down here really quick just for a quick double check. Okay, so Sticks doesn't have any content. So we're gonna draw that again. So I like you got to have content so I can at least see like what's going on to where I can help. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in here. I'm just gonna hit draw again, and it's gonna pick somebody else. So you don't need to do the hashtag. That was your chance, Sticks. Or Six. No way. Hold on. Let me do this again. Hold on. Let's draw again. This is epic. It'll be funny if I keep drawing Six. We'll have to change a hashtag and do it again if so. Drum roll, drum roll. Okay, Active Muse. Okay, so Active Muse, if you could just drop your channel here in the chat, that'll just help me find it faster. I'm just going to wait for you to do that, and then I will pull it up on the screen here. Big E, is that the same Big E? If so, hope you're doing fantastic, dude. It's been a while. Okay, waiting for Active Muse to drop their channel in here. While I'm waiting for that, I'm just going to go find it. Let's let's be Active Muse. Let's see if they got the actual URL, and they do. Fantastic. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab this, and then I will put it over here. So Active Muse, I got you covered. Don't worry about it. So let's see here. So let me put it in here. And then this is Active Muse. So, okay. First off, I'm not sure if you were here, you know, when the stream first started, but you are a prime candidate for Uscreen. So just as a heads up, and I'm just going to show you this really quick. So like part of the things that like the channels that do exceptionally well over here, they are health and fitness and like yoga and lifestyle channels. So because of that, I really encourage you to check out Uscreen. And one thing to keep in mind, and you might think to yourself, if you don't have, you might have some of this stuff already. So if so, then you know then that's fine. But one thing just to remember, and this is important for everybody to know, is as your channel grows, if you implement some of this stuff now, then once you get to like in her case, once you're at 5,000 subscribers now, once you get to like 50,000 subscribers, if you're aggressive about monetizing now and you're driving people into something now, then that's just going to balloon. And as your channel continues to grow, your income's going to grow right along with it. So because of that, I would make sure that that you are considering some of the things that I'm going to be saying here. So right out of the gate, what we're going to do, and really quick, I also saw earlier, and let me go into this really quick, because we did have a, let's see here, let me click here. Oops, clicked on the wrong one. I did have a super chat come in that I have to answer here really quick as well. I actually had 3 of them. So first off, Maricel Canoy says, hello, Nick Nimmin, my great mentor. Thank you for inspiring me. I just hit 12,000 subscribers. Definitely worth watching your content. High five and fist bump to you for your first 12,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. Congratulations. And iFun Chris, thank you for the super sticker. And Michael, thank you as well. So to pull this back up here on Active Muse. Okay, right out of the gate, already got crowdfunding taken care of. High five to you for that. This is another one to where, in this particular case, I would just focus on the things that people can, the things that people can interact with up here that will bring a direct value to them and you, right? Because every time you send somebody off platform, just as a heads up, just in case you guys don't know this, every time you send somebody off of YouTube, like if YouTube had a point system, right? This is kind of probably a better way to explain it. If YouTube had a point system, for every time you would send somebody off platform, you would look at that as like a negative point, okay? So because of that, when you're sending people off platform, it's important that you are very intentional about why it is that you're sending people to the very specific places from the different places on YouTube that you have the option to send them, right? So as an example of this, right now, and I'm just gonna make this here a little bit bigger so everybody can see it. As an example of this, right now you have going buy me a coffee. Like that one is like, you're nailing that particular one, but I wouldn't even worry about these right now. What I would do is I would just focus them on that particular thing. But in this case, it's like, hey, $5 or $10 or whatever they would give you, or maybe you can get a follow over here. So if you do have some type of like long game or, different type of funnel attached to what it is that you're doing over here, then it makes sense. But if you don't, then in that particular case, I would isolate this down to things that, that will bring a benefit to you and your viewers instead of, it just being like a follow. As an example, you can put all that stuff in your video descriptions, but keep this, everything that's happening on this channel page, keep that focused on YouTube or something that you get a direct benefit from is my recommendation. Of course, do whatever you like. But the reason that I recommend that is because the people that are hitting this page are the people that are most interested in what it is that you're doing initially, because those are people that are coming in from your links, people that are coming in to check you out from somebody else sharing your links, if they're linking directly to your channel page, or they've enjoyed your content and they're clicking on your channel name so that they can come and figure out, what other content you have on your YouTube channel. So because of that, having all of this focused on platform activity, or if they do leak off of here, then in that particular case, make it worth it, right? So like one more follower on Facebook, not worth it. However, $5 for coffee. Okay. Yeah. I'll take that negative point for that $5, for the coffee, right? That's kind of the way to think about it. But as we start scrolling down here, this is another one in your particular case. I'm not sure what you have available. I'm actually going to jump to your video description first and see exactly what it is that you have. I'm going to go to one of your more recent videos, and we are going to go down here. And just because I can't not say it, these thumbnails are like super text heavy. Like I would just focus them on like the workout itself. Like I would focus more on the actual workout instead of like filling all of this text all over the place. Cause that's what your title's for, right? So having just like a couple of words or maybe like 3 words in your thumbnail, in that case, like that's fine, right? It makes, it makes sense to do that. However, if you are, if you're like, hey, I'm trying to explain everything that they're possibly going to get out of this video in my thumbnail, then you're kind of working against yourself, because the job of the thumbnail is to like grab their attention based on the thing that, they might be interested in. It's not necessarily to explain the entire, purpose of the video. So one thing that I would experiment with, and this isn't related to monetization, but I can't not say it. One thing that I would experiment with here on your thumbnails is I would definitely experiment with like a lot less text and just focusing more on like the routines and that sort of thing that will help them, the people that you're trying to reach, identify that this is fitness content without them having to read anything. And then that way, it's crystal clear even for international audiences that might not even, understand what you're saying in the thumbnail, because YouTube can actually translate, the stuff that's happening on the bottom. But as we get into this here, I'm just going to open this up. Let's see, did I do it already? I did. Okay. So if we scroll down here, the very first thing that we have, I'm just going to see, what it is that you're doing to monetize currently. 5 weeks morning move challenge. Okay, fantastic. You're driving people into something already. You've got a book that's going out. Fantastic. See, I'm getting pumped. I'm like, all right, they're doing this stuff. Okay, so we've got the morning routine challenge. I'm going to go see what that is. I'm going to click that, and you're tracking everything, which is great. Oh, this is on platform. Okay. This is still good, because then, you are utilizing playlists. So one thing that I do want to let you know, just as a heads up, if you do not have this set already, make sure that you do set this playlist, or that you're just being intentional about your playlists, and that you do have this set up as a series playlist. On your end, if you go into the same playlist, if you click this 3-dot menu, you're going to see a little option that says playlist settings. If you click into that, then they are going to take you into like another, few options. One of those options is going to be to mark this playlist as a series playlist. Make sure you're doing that where it applies to what it is that you're doing, because YouTube is starting to put more emphasis on playlists. But I thought that was going to like a course or something, but it's not. So let's see here. Support my channel with a cup of coffee. You've got that. Going to your subscribe. 50 desserts book on YouTube, Instagram, jump rope, Instagram, TikTok. Okay. So first off, right out of the gate, make sure this is working. Okay. So first off, right out of the gate, you are doing some light affiliate marketing here, but because of the audience that you have, this isn't necessarily a perfect fit for, the audience that you have. So one thing that I would recommend, if you're, because I don't see it here, so I'm not sure if you're doing it in other videos, but one thing that I would do is, instead of focusing on, things that are, more creator focused, one thing that I would focus on would be things that are focused towards what your audience cares about. So for example, like you can still leave this on here, that's fine. But like if you're going to promote something as an affiliate, I would try to connect at the very least with an Amazon affiliate account. Or I would start looking for where you can get the best deals in terms of the best deals for your audience, plus the best affiliate commissions for fitness related equipment. And then in that particular case, instead of having this section down here to where it's sending people to Epidemic Sound, which is a great service, by the way, for anybody, that's interested in paying for music. But when it comes to, converting at a higher rate for the affiliate side, just making more money in general, a lot of content creators, like if you look at my description as an example, and I'm not using this as a trick to get you into my description, but like legitimately, if you look at my descriptions, I have a section that says, tools and resources that I recommend and use, right? I don't know if that's the exact language, but it's something along those lines. So the idea is that when people go down into my video description, I always have this core set of links down there that help content creators solve very specific problems, right? So one thing that you can do in your case here on the affiliate side is have the same exact block, but have it related to fitness. So for example, this is my preferred fitness equipment, or this is the fitness stuff that I use. So you'd have links to like yoga mats and any like stretchy bands or any like weights or even the clothes that you wear, like things like that are all related to fitness. Because what you want to think about when you are promoting something as an affiliate, and this is for everybody here, when you're promoting something as an affiliate, you have to make sure that you're thinking about the intent of the person that's down there. So in your particular case, you got to think, if somebody's landing on your video for a 25-minute upper body workout with weights, that person's wanting to do a full body workout. They're interested in fitness. Therefore, they may or may not have, all of this equipment that you have, available here. So because of that, when you let them know in the beginning of every single video that you make, hey, as we're getting started here, not the very beginning, but, as you start to get into the routine, hey, as we're getting started here, just as a heads up, these are the particular things I use. If you're interested in any of this stuff, I've got links to everything that I use down in the description, right? You don't even have to make it that long. You can just say, oh, just as a heads up, if you're just getting into this, I've got links to all the stuff that I use down in the description. And then by doing that, you're spreading awareness about the links that you have in the description. And anybody that's like, you know what, I really think that's a pretty cool yoga mat, or like, hey, I like those weights, or I need to refresh my weights, or whatever the thing is, then in that case, you just told them, hey, I've got links to this stuff down in the description. So even if they're curious, hey, I wonder what, yoga mat they use, they go down, they click on your Amazon link because of that little group that you put together of affiliate links. They click on your Amazon link, they go to Amazon, they're cookied in. And then if they make a purchase on anything, if they buy anything within the next 24 hours, then you're going to get a commission of that if it ends up being, one of your yoga mats or not. So because of that, I would definitely make sure that you are, considering having that chunk of equipment that I use or equipment used for this video. And then just, get all of those links, spend, 30 minutes grabbing those links out of the Amazon affiliate program, put them into a notepad or put them into TubeSpanner or something, and then just add them into your description for the very specific thing that you are, for the very specific, training that you're doing for that. So on the affiliate side, that's the very first thing that I would do. And also, like the clothes that you're wearing, even like this, hey, I use this bottle, and with this particular bottle, the reason that I use it because it keeps the water cool during my workouts. It is, it contains this much water, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, you could use this description area to kind of sell that a little bit too. In that little link area, you could say specifically why you use the specific things. But what I'm trying to get across is you're missing an opportunity here to make more money from the affiliate side of things because you don't have one of those blocks down here in your description. You've got it for other stuff, right? You're doing the right thing here in terms of on-platform performance, but you're missing an opportunity here to put these videos to work for you, driving you income, okay? So you want to make sure that you are considering that. Another place this gets extremely important, and this is an important part of this for everybody to know, is like if you're getting a lot of recommendation traffic and people are just kind of coming into your content just kind of, out of the blue, then the conversions that you get out of that is typically substantially lower than if somebody's finding you through YouTube search. Because when they're finding your content through YouTube search and you are, especially if you're making content that helps people solve problems like this, then in that particular case, you can make specific videos in terms of like, hey, I just want to make this video, even though I normally do fitness videos, I want to make this one video just sharing with you all the different things that I use, but then you try to target that towards YouTube search. And then that way, what you're doing is you would optimize that for YouTube search around, fitness equipment for at-home workouts or something like that. And then what happens is if you can get a good ranking there, then the intent of the people that are looking for that is going to be much higher in terms of like they're looking for things related to fitness. Therefore, the probability of them buying something is going to be much higher because they're actually looking for that information. Whereas if somebody comes in from a home page, it's a little bit different because then in that case, they're just reacting to a video. But here, because you are doing very specific, like 25-minute upper body killer workout with weights, then in that case, the person that could find this could just be looking for like a 25-minute upper body workout, which is great because, that person's going to be extremely qualified to actually go through your routine, which means you're probably going to get good watch time from them. But in addition to that, that's a great person to spread that awareness to in terms of, hey, by the way, I've got links to all the stuff that I use for all of the stuff on all the routines that I teach you guys. I've got links to all of that down in the description. So, you got to spread awareness that those links are down in the description. You'll get more people clicking on them. But okay, so we've got that. So we've got, you do have the Buy Me a Coffee, so we're good there. We talked about the affiliate marketing side of things. If I go into my list here, because I'm trying to be a little bit more organized than I was last time, we talked about Uscreen in terms of you being a perfect candidate for that. Just as a heads up, they do have a free trial. So if you go through that link that I have in the description, or you just go to their website, whatever, they have a free trial. And they'll have somebody that'll hop on a phone with you and like help you, kind of put a strategy together on how you're going to design, everything around your Uscreen channel and all of that, and how you're going to spread the message on your YouTube channel and your other social media accounts. So just as a heads up for that. And if you're not already, because you are at 5,000 subscribers, even though some of your view counts aren't very high at this moment in time, one thing that I would also consider is starting to reach out to fitness brands, just to get yourself on the radar. Just put together a nice media kit for yourself and then just start doing some cold outreach to some fitness brands. Let them know what it is that you're doing. Let them know the passion that you have behind it, the audience that you're reaching and all of that. And just let them know, hey, if you want to work together in some way in the future or now, just let me know. And then that way you're putting yourself on their radar for when they do want to do that. The next side of that, on the sponsorship side, is when you have videos that do well. If you have a video like this, if it has 95 views, you're going to do better than this 95 views because over time it looks like your views increase. But if you do have videos with 95 views, things like that, it's a little bit different. But if you do have videos that get, let's say, a few thousand views on them, which I saw on your homepage, then in that case, that's also a great opportunity. And everybody can use this tactic as well. That's a great opportunity for you to have a Twitter account. And I know we're just going to push the Elon Musk stuff aside because I know everybody's kind of, divided on that. But you create a Twitter account or a Uscreen account, or a LinkedIn account, or both. And what you do is when you do have those videos hit a certain, view count where you're like, yeah, I would love for them to see this, then share that video on your Twitter and or your LinkedIn account and make sure you're tagging the companies that you're using their stuff in the video. Where it's like, hey, I love the blah, blah, blah yoga mat. I use it in all my videos, those types of things. And by doing that, what you're doing is you are showing them that you're already endorsing their products. And then from there, you're just trying to open up that conversation and again, put you on the radar. So when they are wanting to work with influencers, you're at least on that list somewhere because they know that you're already supporting them. Let's see here. So on the affiliate marketing side, we got that. Okay, so digital products. So that's one thing that we haven't talked about yet. So when it comes to digital products, currently, again, most of this is linking to other things, but you do have your book. You have Shop My 50 Healthy Desserts book, which is great, by the way. Who doesn't want healthy desserts? I don't know, I don't know if, that impacts the deliciousness or not. And a little side note here, delicious is one of my favorite words, if not the favorite. Hey, Roger, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing awesome. But basically, when it comes to, this, you're doing fantastic here by having that digital product available. But another thing that I would consider as well, just to kind of stack on to all the different stuff that you offer, is because you are doing a lot of fitness things. If you could partner with an illustrator, if you could hire one, or if you could just put down, in text form, the details of all of these different workouts, then you could technically make them downloadable for them to where they could do it at home. Another option is to where you could just have just like we were doing with the affiliate links, right? To where you're grouping them all together, to where you just put together a resource guide to where hey, if you're getting into cardio and fat burning or, all the different workouts that we're doing, here's my what would you call this? My ultimate guide on, at home fitness or, whatever the thing is, and then make it essentially like a print on demand book that you could sell on Amazon to where you would be able to drive people into that and they could, buy it there or make it available for free to get people on an email list that you would set up through Active Campaign or MailChimp or something like that. And then that would give you, again, just like I always mention when I mention that would give you additional touch points with the people that are interacting with your content. You can use it to bring attention to things that you want to bring attention to, for sale or for promotion or for sponsors or whatever. But you can also use that as a way to bring people back to your YouTube channel. So one thing that I really loved about what you had in one of your video descriptions here was this. So you're hey, here's my morning move 5 weeks challenge. I would build a whole thing around this because people love challenges. I would build a whole thing around this and I would have one of these that you would drive people into an email list for. So it's hey, I'm going to be sending out motivational emails because we all know that, when it comes to fitness, motivation is a big, part of that. As I'll probably eat some snack here later that I shouldn't. But, since motivation is a thing, you could be hey, if you're participating in this morning move challenge, make sure you sign up for my email list because I'm going to be sending you daily emails to keep you pumped pumped up, make sure that you're doing this every Monday. And again, that gives you their email so that you have those additional touch points with them. You create like a weekly newsletter or something like that you send out so that you have those additional touch points, but you can also bring attention to products and services and things like that through there as well, which brings me to my next thing, services. So another thing that I noticed that you don't currently have here as well, and I'm going to do this one and then we're going to move on to somebody else's channel. But basically when it comes to services, like, you've got people interacting with this, you know how to do the things that you're doing. So one thing that you might also want to consider if you're not doing it somewhere else online already, or, in person, or even if you are doing it in person, is doing like one-on-one calls with people. And that's a great way to build a bridge into more passive things. So like, let's say, for example, you start offering like one-on-one coaching services for, the fitness stuff that you do, or one-on-one programs, or even groups, to where it's like, hey, every Monday we meet up. Even outside of this, we meet up, every Monday or Tuesday, and we do, this other thing as a group. And then you charge an entry fee into that. But the idea is to have, something like that to where, if you had like that email going out, you'd be trying to get people from that email into that particular group or into that, coaching or whatever. While you're doing that, you're also building up like your Uscreen store or any other, more passive, because it's not passive in Uscreen, but it's mostly because you're just making videos for it. But like, it would build up. While you're building those things up, you have the services to kind of fill that, bucket of money, so to speak, while you're, working on building up your, subscription service over on Uscreen, and or working on building up more of the affiliate side. But one thing I can tell you is if you start deploying all this stuff now, especially with your type of content, if you're like, hey, I heard you, Nick, I'm going to go and I'm going to start working on this stuff today. By the time you reach like probably 50,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, you're going to be crushing on money. If you could start deploying all of that stuff. And if you don't know how to do it, just start Googling around. There's tons of YouTube videos. There's tons of articles on how to do all the different things that I mentioned. But at the very least, I would be, going hard on trying to do more personalized things, or putting some of it behind, a subscription. Not all of it, because you would still use YouTube as your, free, vehicle, so to speak, to spread awareness about the things that you have available for sale. A great example of this, if you want it, is Sarah Beth Yoga. So she's a Uscreen customer. She's got, looks like 1.5 million subscribers on her YouTube channel right now. But like in her case, go and examine what it is that she's doing on her channel, because she also does some of the stuff that I'm talking about in terms of, driving people into this. And then she's able to create like a drip campaign to them, sharing all kinds of valuable stuff that will ultimately lead them into, the thing that she offers on Uscreen. So definitely make sure that you are, since you're doing fitness, I know it's not the same as yoga, but since you are doing fitness, I would definitely look there and just kind of use that as, kind of some inspiration on just some options that you can do in your particular case. So hopefully you found that helpful. Let's see here. So next up, we are going to do another one. If you're just joining us, here's what's going on right now. I am pulling up YouTube channels, and I'm looking at channels, and we are trying to help them find additional ways that they can monetize the content that they're putting out. Because here's the thing, when you're a YouTube content creator, first off, cameras cost money, video editing software costs money, computers cost money. If you're doing everything on your phone, if your phone breaks, it's gonna cost money to get a new one. If you decide to go to conferences, things like that, all of that stuff costs money. If you wanna do collaborations across the country or even across the world to make those things happen, it's all gonna cost money. So from the sustainability perspective, when it comes to being a content creator, being able to generate an income from what it is that you're doing is extremely important. So because of that, especially as we're sliding into, some really rough, possibly some rough times, here ahead of us. Like I said, if you weren't here earlier, Facebook just laid off like 11,000 people. I know some other companies, are laying people off too. So because of that, like if you're going to start, doing some of this stuff, like now's like the time to do it. If you're a content creator, especially if you are in one of those risky, categories of work, because some of this stuff takes a little bit of time to actually build it up. So that's why you want to make sure that you're getting some of this stuff into place now, so that as you might need them in the future, or they might just be helpful in the future, then you'll already have some of these things in place and they'll already be in motion, and you won't be at that starting point trying to like panic and try to hurrying up to get people into the thing or whatever. So because of that, I really recommend that you, that you consider that. So somebody here mentioned monetizing a gaming channel. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that here. All that has to happen is when I do this spinner here in a minute, it's just got to land on a gaming channel. So if you're a gamer, make sure you do this. But here's the thing, when I pull this spinner up, the only requirements that I have is that you have to be actively uploading to your YouTube channel. And you also have to, just be doing the bare bones stuff. So like if I look at the channel and it's like there's like no thumbnails, or there's like, if it's most important for you to work on best practices, then we skip over that and then we go and we look at a different channel. And the reason for that is because you do have to get all of the things in place first to where you're getting regular views on your videos and all of those things so that you can take advantage of some of the other stuff that we're talking about during these live streams. So today, for this particular one, we are going to do Uscreen 55 is going to be the one that we are going to run right now. So go ahead and put Uscreen 55 in here. And just as a heads up, while you guys are putting that in there, just as a reminder of what Uscreen is, it's a platform that allows content creators to sell their videos online and to build their own membership site. It's kind of like a Netflix type of thing for content creators. Their customers are from a variety of industries and backgrounds, from fitness studios, education, news, music teachers, vloggers, kids entertainment, and pretty much anybody that wants to make any money from the content that they're making. They can do it with Uscreen. With that, you can sell memberships to the streaming services. You can rent out videos. You can even have like live stream events with a paywall behind them to where people will need to, pay in order to participate in your live streams, things like that. I'm also working on a Uscreen, resource for you guys as well that I'm going to be putting out that's going to teach you everything about, being a content creator in terms of growing your channel, but also all the skills that are involved with, growing a YouTube channel as well. So definitely keep an eye out for that. It's going to be just a little bit, probably 2 months before it'll be deployed, but just as a heads up, that is, back in motion. So I'm going to hit draw on here and let's see who our winner is. Drum roll. Geek Philosophy. Fantastic. Okay. So this one's probably going to be challenging, but we're going to go for it anyway. And we're going to pull it up. So Geek Philosophy, if you just want to mention something here in the chat, just say like, hey, and by doing that, that will, just make it easier for me to find your YouTube channel. But while I'm waiting on you, because I know there is a delay here, I'm just going to search for it because I do have your icon up here. Danielle, Tube Spanner in the house. What's up? Hope you're doing awesome. Geek Philosophy. Okay. Yeah, I got it. So you're good, Geek Philosophy. So let's see here. So let me go ahead and get Geek Philosophy up here on this screen. And then we will get them all sorted here. So let me put this up here. Okay, so he's doing all the stuff. Okay, so let's get him up here and let's rock and roll. Okay, so right out of the gate, free RPG campaign planner. Fantastic. So he's already got something in place already. This is great. Okay, so he's linking out to something that's very specific. He's also, I just want to highlight this really quick in terms of like the right thing to do. So you can see here, he's putting the free in here to let people know that they're not going to have to pay anything. And he's letting them know exactly what it is up here. So it's like, hey, if you want this thing, then you can get it here. That's great. So, you can see here how he is only focusing on driving people into that thing, right? So if you're trying to monetize what it is that you're doing, that's a fantastic way to ensure that people are seeing, or the thing that you are trying to bring attention to is the most visible on your channel. Okay. So next up, in his particular case, another thing that he can do is you can see here how he has this particular video in his trailer spot. This is another thing that I've mentioned on the other channels today, is he can also use this as an opportunity. Instead of having this hashtag show up on here, which, just as a heads up, in case you're not familiar with this already, Geek Philosophy, is these hashtags are kind of like a leak out of your channel, right? So when it comes to keeping people on platform, like what you're doing there is a win, but instead I would actually put these down at the bottom of your video description so that people are less inclined to click on them, because what can happen is, like, let's say we click on D&D. Here, I'll just click on it. We'll go in. Then I land here, and then let's see, I'm like, oh, hey, let's go see what's up with the Warp Zone. I didn't even know they published lately. And then I come in here, next thing you know, I'm gone, right? So because of that, I would not feature any hashtags that are clickable here, because desktop users see that, as you can see in this example right here. Excuse me. And because of that, this could cause a leak from your YouTube channel in terms of, just people, heading out because they click on these. Another thing to keep in mind also with the hashtags is, and this is one of those things that, again, this live stream is about, how you can make money from what it is that you're doing. But if I see something that's glaring, like I have to mention it, I just can't not mention it. So another thing you'll want to do as well is you want to make sure that you are checking your hashtags before you commit to them. And the reason for that is because you want to use your hashtags as a way that people can come into your content. So because of that, you want to make sure that you're clicking on each one of these and that you're thinking, okay, based on the content that YouTube is prioritizing here, because this is the content that YouTube is prioritizing because it performs well when people, are clicking on this hashtag. Based on the content that YouTube is prioritizing here, is my content a great fit for this? If the answer is no, then in that case, change that hashtag or remove it. Because the idea is you just want to make sure that you're, if you're going to be using hashtags, you want to make sure they're relevant to what it is that you're doing. So, but what I was going to say here before I went on that rant is Tube Spanner, thank you for the super chat. The active channel here, Active Muse, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate it. Hopefully that added some value to you. And by the way, for those of you that I look at your channels, when I pull them up on screen here, for you guys, if you do have any like additional questions or anything like that, or if I mentioned something that wasn't clear, if you're one of the people that I pulled your channel up, then you can DM me on Twitter and just be like, hey, you mentioned this, but I'm not really sure like what that means or how to get started or like whatever. And then I can, kind of go back and forth with you there and try to help you, send you in the right direction, or just add clarity to something that I might have said. So anybody that is in that situation to where I looked at your channel and you're like, I don't know what you meant by that, feel free to hit me up, as on a Twitter DM so that I can add clarity for you. Because my whole goal with this is that the people that are participating, that their channels are not pulled up, that they can think of how this applies to their channels and hopefully run with some of that information. And for the people that their channels are pulled up, they're going to see like a direct, like, hey, these are different things that I can do to, make some extra money or a bunch of money, depending on what you're doing and how aggressive you want to be. So let's keep on trucking. Okay. So we've got, let's see here. So here we've got that focused in the right place. So you're doing the right thing there as we keep coming down the channel, just kind of looking to see what it is that you're doing here. So you're reflecting on a critical role, critical cafe. I'm not sure what these are. I'm trying to figure out what it is because you have Geek Philosophy, but I'm not sure exactly what it is that you're offering on the channel yet. Dungeon Master Tips. Okay, so you're doing D&D stuff. D&D for kids. Okay, so it's all Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to go into your videos tab now, and we are going to just click into your latest video. Now, some things that I haven't looked at yet, just as a heads up, and I should have done this because I know that some of you are in the partner program already. So just as a heads up as well, for any of you that like Active Muse as an example, like if you do decide to set up like a Uscreen store or something like that, or your own website to where you would have like a whole page full of stuff that you use, that you recommend other people to use, that sort of thing. Just as a heads up, you can add those links to your end screen as well, but you just want to make sure, if you're in the YouTube partner program, they do give you that ability where you can add cards where people can jump directly off your video and go to your stuff. You can also add end screen elements that do the same thing, but just keep in mind that if you are going to use those, it's better for YouTube performance to keep people involved on YouTube and keep people watching the videos. However, when it comes to you making money, in some cases that might be necessary. So because of that, just make sure that as part of your content strategy, when you're putting out a video, you know exactly why that particular video should be going out. So one way to look at this, and like in our world, like for professional content creators, we'll call these money videos. And basically what it is you'll have like that one video that is driving people off site. And that's the whole purpose of that video is like, hey, I'm making this for YouTube and I'm adding value, but the whole goal of this particular piece of content is to drive people to whatever thing it is I'm trying to bring attention to. So what you do is as you're putting out content, you put out, when you're putting your content strategy together, you have content that you're putting out to where you're intentionally ensuring that, this video is going to link to this video, and I'm going to set up, the click on the end of this video to drive people into this playlist, those types of things, so that you're doing those things that keep YouTube happy, right? In terms of viewers, interacting with the platform, you're doing the things that keep the viewers happy in terms of, keeping them interacting with your content. And then you're also driving traffic through some of that based on, what you're trying to do, let's say over the next 90 days. ways, you're driving some of that traffic towards that money video that is made for the purpose of adding value, but also letting people know in a more aggressive way about some of the things that you have available. So just keep that in mind also with some of the information that I'm sharing. Cathay Fit, thank you for the super sticker there. I appreciate it. So first, as we keep going down this list here, and same exact thing here, this is a thing where you don't want people to get lost before they have the option to come down into your video description. So what you want to do is you want to start moving these hashtags down to the bottom of your description. When you do that, they're still going to show up here, but you want to move these down to the bottom of your video description, just as a heads up. But right out of the gate, we've got resource links. Let's see, you're going here. This is going to a YouTube video. Okay, so, okay, I'll agree to that. I'm not sure if this is your site. If it is, this is fantastic. And it looks like you might have some things available here for people already. Explore now, view the full sheet. Official character sheets. Oh, okay, this is great. Oh, you're not charging for any of these. Okay. So just a heads up, you know, you can also, I know that you have these available for free, but just as a heads up to you, just so you know this, because I know, everybody's, they feel differently about, selling stuff and giving stuff away and, things like that. I'm always a fan of, giving as well. But one thing that you also can do is some people will purchase some of the stuff that you have as a means to support the channel, but it's a direct value exchange when they do that. So in addition to doing it for the sake of supporting the content, they're also doing it because they do get that thing out of it as well. So like I have a website, it's called Tuber Tools, and some people join it, as, that, but as a part of it, they also get a bunch of graphics and, things like that they can use in their videos. But you can do something like that here as well, to where, you have all of these resources that are available for free, but then you could also make cause these are really cool. Like these look awesome. If you're making these, high five to you. But because these look so good, like they look, very professional, you could, as long as it fits and it makes sense with the game, because I'm not a D&D player, so I'm not 100% sure on that side of things, but you could put together like one full book of like a whole guide of like all the different characters and things like that, and offer that to download, for a fee of some kind, or at least to get you into an email list or get them into an email list or something like that, for the sake of, like I mentioned before, having those additional touch points. That's definitely something to consider. But I love the fact that you've already got a website, you're sending people here, you've got all of this stuff, in place. Okay, so there is actually, so you do have a way that you're monetizing this because you have an affiliate program for it. Okay, so you are making money from this. Okay, so we're good here. So we're gonna skip your store because you're already sending people here. This is fantastic. So as we keep on scrolling down, affiliate links, you're already doing this. Okay, this is another one where you want to think about the audience that you're reaching. So one thing that will happen with content creators is they'll look around the content that they're watching and they'll be like, oh, hey, I'm watching like this thing on like how to, oh, it's not his website. Okay, got it. So just as a food for thought, you can make a website just like that. You can send people to that particular website. You can have people make the stuff that's available there. And I know that this might sound like a big project because right now you're just getting started, with all the YouTube stuff. And this might sound like a big project, and it would be. But just keep in mind, like you do have the option to where you could make a competitor website for what is available right there. And you could start driving people to that. You could make an affiliate program for it. You could do all the thing. There's going to be a substantial learning curve to do that. But it would be a way that you would be able to generate, a lot more money from what it is that you're doing a lot faster. And technically, if you were to do that, and if you were to do it right, you could also, create a resource that other content creators that talk about D&D could also use and promote as well, depending on the perks of your affiliate program. So I would definitely, consider that, or at least table that, like, write it down, be like, hey, I'm going to build a competitor to this, but then just kind of shelf it and be like, okay, I'm going to do that when I have the time, or, when I have the, after I learn a little bit, I've got the technical expertise in order to actually put that together. Or I can hire somebody, to put all that together based on the amount of money I'm generating for my YouTube channel. But When it comes to the things that you're linking off to as an affiliate, just as a heads up, this is another one to where you want to make sure that they are things that are a great fit for the people that are interacting with your content. Like linking to Canva, that's fine because, there are tons of people that use Canva for a lot of different reasons. So some people might be able to use Canva, maybe even to make their guides. Then in that particular case, make sure, if you're not already, that if you are going to be linking to Canva as an affiliate, make sure that you are telling people, hey, you can use Canva for this. Hey, you're trying to make this yourself? You can use Canva to do it. Hey, you're doing this, you can use Canva for it. Got a link to Canva down on my description. So then that way you're continually, spreading the awareness that you do have that link down there and how they can actually use it. And with that, you could even make like a complimentary video to that link that you could have unlisted on your YouTube channel to where you show them like, hey, this is exactly how you use Canva in order to, do these things that are related to the game or to help you make charts or, other things that are related to the game that you're playing. Amazon, this is a win, but instead of Amazon, you want to be specific about what it is that you're linking out to. Because when it comes to links that are in a description, what you want to think about is like, okay, somebody's watching your video and they're like, hey, look at this guy with the sandy beard like Nick has, right? Like we should hang out sometime, by the way, as beard brothers, as brothers in salt and pepper, right? We should hang out like that. But when it comes to, this, they're watching your video, they come down in your video description, you want to make sure that when they see this stuff that they have clarity on what it is that's behind that link. And the reason for that is because if it's just Amazon, there's no reason for anybody to click on that. But if it's like, hey, get these D&D dice on Amazon or my favorite D&D dice on Amazon, if they click into that, even out of curiosity, oh, I wonder what his die is for, that he likes to use. Then in that case, they get cookied in. And then if they make a purchase of any kind in the next 24 hours, you'll get a cut, as you already know, because you're in the program. But the idea is to make it compelling in some way, or at least related to them in some way. And I would feature that content above the content that is like Canva and Ecamm and like that kind of stuff. Same thing here, even though in your industry, this might be something that is common in terms of a particular website. It might even be this one, I'm not sure. No, it's not. So because of that, I would also add clarity here as well in terms of exactly what it is that's behind it. So you might even explain this stuff in your videos, but keep in mind when somebody's watching your videos, some people will just go down to the video description anyway to try to get kind of like a head start on the video, trying to figure out what it's about or whatever. And while they're listening to your video in the background, they could already be down here looking at this stuff and they could already be opening these up in new windows or whatever, or just clicking directly through based on their interest while your video is playing before you even get to the part where you might even mention, what this actually means or what this particular link is. So I would definitely start adding some clarity to your affiliate links. But another thing to keep in mind as well, just as a heads up, is as part of the Amazon affiliate program, some other affiliate programs also have these requirements. They also have very specific information that you need to add to your video description. So anybody here that promotes anything as an affiliate, make sure that you are reading the affiliate agreement that you are, agreeing to, so that you can ensure the security long-term of your affiliate partnership with them. Because what happens is if you start driving a lot of sales from this, you might have an Amazon rep, like as your channel grows over time, you might have an Amazon rep will come and they'll look for that affiliate disclosure down here. And the whole disclosure, and don't say it word for word like I'm telling you, because I'm just giving you a general idea, but if you Google for Amazon affiliate disclosure, then you're going to find, the words that you can use. But the whole idea is just saying, some of the links down in this description are affiliate links. If you purchase something using these links, I'll get it a commission. And you also have to make a mention that you are part of the Amazon program there as well. So if you don't do that, I just want you to know, for anybody that promotes anything as an Amazon affiliate, if you don't do that, you might wake up a year from now or 2 years from now when you're generating loads of money off of Amazon with your Amazon account closed down. And then you're going to have all of these links across all these descriptions that are going to be useless in terms of generating you revenue, just because that description wasn't in there, or that disclaimer wasn't in there. So make sure that you do put those disclaimers in there. But let's keep on going. Okay, so we've got your affiliate links in here. That's great. On the personal product side, this is definitely something to consider, building a competitor at this. And keep in mind, if you're building something like this, you don't have to build everything. You just build the things that make the most sense to what it is that you are doing or what it is that you want to offer. And by doing that, it does create that resource that other people can also send traffic to. However, if you do sign up for their affiliate program, because right now, unless they cookied you in, Like I'm not seeing any type of tracker there. I'm not going to actually go into the code and look for it. But you know, if this is not being tracked, like I would definitely just make sure that all your tracking and all that stuff is accurate here as well, because they do have the affiliate program. So just make sure that, oh no, this is the disclosure. Hold on, personal information. Yeah, I would just double check on that when it comes to the affiliate program, but just keep in mind you can build a competitor there. When it comes to merch, just as a heads up, because it doesn't look like you have any merch options down here. So when it comes to merch, you do have options like Spreadshop, for example, where you can go there, you can upload designs over there, and then, you know, people can make those purchases. And you'll see in a lot of channels, they have the merch shelf or the product shelf underneath their videos. You don't have to have that in order to sell merch. You can actually create those stores and you can link to them in your video description and drive people over to those to purchase shirts or hoodies or coffee cups or things like that. So another option that you would have is that you are, you know, just having your merch available. And when you make your merch, a lot of content creators will make the merch all about them, and they'll make it all about, you know, like, hey, here's my logo and that kind of stuff. That works, you know, like the super fans and stuff, you know, they'll get that stuff. But if you can make the merch about your community, make it about things related to Dungeons and Dragons and things that people that are really into Dungeons and Dragons, they'll be able to relate to. There's little, you know, funny jokes within the community, that kind of stuff. If you make it around that, then those, you know, you'll end up selling more. So, so just keep that in mind in terms of, you know, one of the options that you're missing here to send people into merch. And then from digital products, of course, you know, on that website, if there is any type of those guides that you could put together, like technically how they have their character guides, you could make similar character guides without building the whole website and doing, you know, that whole route. You could just put that book together, like I was talking about, make it kind of like a downloadable PDF that you could sell for like, you know, 15 or 20 bucks a pop, or even 10 bucks if you're not comfortable selling it at 20 or 30. Then, you know, you would have that available and, you know, people would be able to purchase that. And services, I wouldn't necessarily do that on your end right now, unless you can think of something, you know, service related for it. But I think affiliates and building your own stuff is going to be the best win in your particular case, and possibly crowdfunding. So when it comes to crowdfunding, there's, you know, different options. So one option is where you make something available as like a membership. Another option is where people can just donate. So when you make it available as a membership, just some food for thought for you here is you could have like closed groups. So like you could try doing this now, but you might want to wait just a little bit on this particular one, because you would want to, you know, get it in front of enough people to where when you mentioned it, you would have enough people going in there to actually pull this off. But one thing that you also might want to consider before we move on to another channel here, one thing you might want to consider as well, if you'd be comfortable doing this, is you could also make like a round table to where it's like, hey, if you're watching my videos and you would like to play D&D with me, then in that particular case, I have a live stream that I do. It's a, you know, it's a private, you know, live stream. And as part of that, you know, I do it in a private closed out Facebook group. And as part of that, if you're interested, then, you know, it would cost, you know, X amount, you know, just a really low entry fee if you wanted to, or you could make it high depending on what you want to do and how much, you know, the time is worth. But you basically create that, you know, opt-in where they could just give you like, you know, PayPal or something like that. You could use Stripe for this as well. And then they could, you know, join essentially to where you could have like group plays with your community for a fee if they did, you know, choose to participate in that. So, so we're going to do another channel here before we head off, because this stream we're already like 20 minutes over, but like I'm having fun with these, so we're going to do another one. So maybe two. I'm not sure. It just kind of depends on how this goes. But I'm going to hit this here really quick. And the hashtag for this particular one, and just as a reminder, because this is, you know, this is from Uscreen. They're the ones that are making this, you know, stream possible. So for those of you that are not familiar with Uscreen, before I, you know, get into the next one here, just as a heads up, Uscreen, what they do is it's kind of like a Netflix for your content. You can charge, you know, like a monthly fee. You can rent your stuff. You can pay to have live streams, that kind of stuff. But basically what it is is it is it's a platform that allows content creators to sell their videos online and build their own membership site to where, you know, the whole thing is kind of structured like Netflix. They have free trials over here. We can go and like try it out for yourself to see if it's right for you and all of that. But then they'll also, when you do set up your account, they'll also hop on a call with you and just kind of help you get a plan together on like how you're going to, you know, spread the awareness, you know, through your audience and things like that. But the idea is you can use this as a way to, you know, generate income by providing additional value to your viewers through additional content that you can publish over there. So through Uscreen and through their support here for this series, you can do all this there. So definitely check them out. You can check them out at uscreen.tv, or there's a link down in the description, and that tracking link kind of helps them, you know, check how effective my content is for them and stuff like that. But, you know, try to hit that link, or if you don't, that's fine. You can just hit uscreen.tv if that is something that you're interested in. So the hashtag is Uscreen64. And I'm going to go ahead and just have this here collecting entries as we go here. So all you have to do here is put in hashtag Uscreen64, and as these start running in, or as these start rolling in, basically how this is going down for those of you that are just joining us today is we are looking at YouTube channels, and we are seeing different ways that they could monetize. Some content, as you could see here with the D&D one, it's a little bit more challenging than other content, like the fitness content. That can be a gold mine very quickly. When it comes to the Dungeons and Dragon content, that could also be a gold mine, but it's going to require a lot more, work involved in order to like really kind of ramp that one up on the alternate monetization side. So in some cases, just as a heads up, those are also opportunities for some of you. If you're like, hey, I don't want to build websites, I don't want to, do some of these other things, just as a heads up, like in his case, once he gets into the partner program on YouTube, like he can make money from ads. He can do the private live streams there. He can have members join, directly on his channel, things like that. So, he'll be able to start doing all of that relatively soon. So he can just focus on on-platform monetization. But one of the reasons that I like to encourage people to also think about off-platform monetization is because when you have everything on YouTube, then if something goes down with your channel, because sometimes things happen. If you guys have been watching my news lately and been watching some of my videos lately, like there's just some stuff that, can cause some issues for you on YouTube. And because of that, when you put all your eggs in that basket and you're not making money from other things that are around your YouTube channels, the way that I like to frame it, then in that case, if something were to happen, to your on-platform monetization, then it cascades down and you lose everything in terms of, your monthly income if you end up getting like a strike of some kind or something like that. So because of that, when you have these other options that are available off platform, then they keep the ball rolling for you while you're going through that waiting period, that 90 days of getting, your monetization back on YouTube. So because of that, just make sure that you are considering that as not only a way to make additional money, but also a way to kind of safeguard your security if you are someone that is considering going into YouTube and content creation full time. Okay. So just make sure that you are considering that. So, okay. So we're going to draw this really quick. And it looks like here we've got drum roll. I think I've got a drum roll. Do I have a? Nope. What's up, people? Nope. 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 Okay, I thought I had a drum roll, but I don't. But hey, congratulations, Sweet Dreams. You are the winner. So for this particular one, we're going to look for Sweet Dreams. I'm just going to try to find them here on YouTube. If you happen to say something in the chat before I find you, that would be fantastic. Sweet Dreams. Ooh, it's going to be hard to find you based on the music. So let's go to channel. Oh, a lot of channels with the same name too. Yeah, I would definitely try to come up with a more unique name, which isn't the conversation that we're having today, but just as a heads up there. Okay, there you go. Okay, so I just saw you pop up here. So I'm going to go to your channel. Let me grab the URL here. And we are going to, let me take this down while I go to your channel. And while that's coming in, says, hey, Nick, I hope you're having a great one. We have 2 YouTube channels. Would you recommend putting our other channel link in both banners? Also, what about the link to our online course? So when it comes to your 2 YouTube channels, I would only link the 2 YouTube channels together if they are a perfect fit in terms of the audience. So if there's even a slight difference in terms of the viewers that you're trying to collect on one channel compared to the other channel, then I wouldn't interlink them. Instead, I would make a piece of filter content where you make it on your main channel, but then at the end of the video, the very end of the video, so you're only getting the people that are the most engaged in that particular topic. At the very end of that video, you mention the other channel. Then in that particular case, it's only the people that made it through that video, which would either be the people that are most interested in what you're doing, or the people that are most interested in the topic. But optimize everything around that topic and make it as a filter versus just directly linking all the time, to intermingle things unless the audience is the same. If the audience that you're trying to reach is the same and the value you're putting out is the same, then in that case, it's okay to link them together. When it comes to linking to your online course, as long as both channels are a good candidate to actually link them over to the course, in terms of the people that are watching the videos over here would be likely to go into the course, then in that case, link to that one. And then if they're likely to, join your course if they find it from this channel based on the interests that they need to have to enjoy the content over here, then in that case, go ahead and link to that one too. Okay, so we got Sweet Dreams up here on the channel, and let's see what we have going on here. Now, keep in mind, I do have some qualifications, and I'm just going to go and just look here and make sure, because right now I'm just seeing YouTube Shorts. So, okay, so you are putting out some longer form content as well. So here's the thing, in your particular case, you're not going to have all of the same advantages that the other channels have because you are just playing music in the background. So one thing just to consider, just in terms of options for you, and this isn't necessarily on platform, but one thing that you might want to consider is if you are making, the actual scenery for these, if you're recording these and these are original and not stock, then in that case, you might be able to license some of these or make these available, offer them on stock sites or something like that for a fee. In addition to that, if you're making the music and it's not just repurposed music, if all of this is just stuff hey, I'm just using stock videos and just stock music and I'm putting this together, just a heads up, YouTube is they have issues with this kind of stuff, just as a heads up, and you might have some trouble or a lot of trouble getting monetized if you're just reusing a bunch of stuff. But if you're not, and this is all 100% original, then in that case, in your case specifically, I would definitely make sure that you are hopping on to DistroKid as an example. You're creating an account there. You're getting this stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, and all of that, because long term, you can also make, some extra money from the streaming services. You don't get a lot per play, but you can make extra money, over time through the streaming services if you start getting volume. And all it takes is just a handful of songs, that or a handful of tracks that people are really enjoying to start getting, that volume in terms of, Spotify suggesting you and stuff like that. But when it comes to your type of channel, the main thing that I would think about is, of course, you do have, hold on. So supporting the channel, watching the video, it means so much to me. Okay, so one thing that I would definitely add to this is I would add crowdfunding of some kind in terms of, a buy me a coffee or something like that. So, hey, if you enjoyed this session or you're enjoying my content, here's a link to buy me a coffee. And then I would just have that in here as the main option that you would be trying to drive people to. Just because when it comes to yours, you could, if you wanted to, you could have merch available and things like that, but for your type of content to where people are coming in, they're just listening to some music in the background and then they're leaving, you don't really have the opportunity to really be aggressive about driving people down into your video description. So because of that, everything's going to be more challenging for you in terms of monetization for what it is that you're doing. So what you're going to end up being reliant on, just as a heads up, is you are going to end up being reliant on on platform monetization, probably is your primary monetization for this. But you can, if you wanted to, link in your video description to meditation cushions and things like that. Right now you have 38 subscribers, so you're not going to be able to get into the Amazon Associates program yet. But once you can get into that, then in that particular case, just having a little block of things that you recommend down in the description that are related to the people that would be watching your content So for example, you could have like a little block of links that are down there that are for like yoga related stuff, another link of block of affiliate links that are meditation related stuff, and another block of links that are related to like bedding and, you know, other things like that, maybe even just eye covers or something like that people use to get better sleep. Then that way, at least if somebody, you know, goes into your video description, then, you know, they would have those things available and they would be related to the type of person that would be watching this content. So you could do that on the affiliate side, but again, you're going to need to get into, you know, the Amazon affiliate program, and there are requirements for that. But there are other things that you can do in terms of looking around for other affiliate programs that you might be able to, add to your description while you're waiting, you know, for the qualifications to get into the Amazon program. But in your particular case, those would be the things that I would actually focus on right now. Of course, down the road, once your channel starts doing good, you're generating some money from it. If you do start having a large presence, then that's when, you know, you will start making more money if you do start, you know, making things available on streaming services. And then as part of that as well, you know, if you do start getting a lot of activity, that's where you could start considering doing like apps and, you know, those sorts of things that people could install to kind of have, you know, your stuff with them on the go and, you know, those types of things as well, just as an option for you. But in your case, I would just focus on like getting the channel bigger right now, just because, again, like you are just getting started. So I would put all of my efforts right now on like, okay, how do I, like, what content are people responding to better than other content, those types of things, so that you can get the channel doing better first. But getting affiliate stuff in place is just something that I would go ahead and just put on the cards, so that you can, you know, go ahead and just start getting some of those things ready while you are, I mean, you can go ahead and get them in your descriptions as well, but while you are trying to get the channel going, you know, you could put some of those in the description now. Yeah, that type of content is a lot more challenging when it comes to monetization. So, okay, so we're gonna do another one here. And for this one, let's see here. So just as a heads up for those of you that are hanging out here, if you just joined the stream, we're looking at YouTube channels and talking about different ways that they can monetize what it is that they're doing. This stream is made possible by Uscreen. Uscreen is like a Netflix for content creators. I'll actually explain that here in just a minute while everybody's putting their numbers in here. But the hashtag that we're going to put up here for this one is Uscreen15. So if you want to go ahead and start dropping those in there, and the qualifications for me to look at your channel is you got to be uploading on a regular basis. The content in terms of like titles, thumbnails, things like that, you got to make sure that you do have some of those core best practices in place, because if not, then, you know, monetizing and all that could be a distraction, because the thing that's most important when it comes to YouTube and really taking advantage of the opportunity that you have on YouTube long term is making sure that, you know, the channel's doing well. So, you know, you have to learn how to, you know, do all the stuff that will help your channel do well so that you can really maximize things when you start, you know, implementing the things that we're talking about today. So, okay, so we're at 58. So I'm going to go ahead and hit draw on this and let's see what we got. Might do one more, not sure yet. We're going to see how long we spend on this one. We might end up doing another one, but for now we've got Ashley Barron. So Ashley, if you could go ahead and just kind of drop your name in here again. I'm going to look for you on YouTube as well, see if I can find you over there. See which one of us gets you first. Ashley Barron. Nope, that's not you. Found another one. Oh, there you are. Okay. Ashley's like, oh my gosh, hi. Hello, hope you're doing awesome. Glad that you joined the stream today. Let me go ahead and take your link and put it over to here. Let me take this down for a second while I'm kind of getting this ready. Okay. Okay, so we've got a lifestyle and vlog channel. Let me make this actually more prominent and me less prominent. There we go. So this is a lifestyle and vlog channel that we are looking at here. As we scroll down, she uploads on a regular basis. It looks like we've got some, let's see here, days in my life. So this is more of just like a random video. So one thing I just want to, and this is one of those moments to where, you know, like I can't just overlook, you know, this, you know, some of this stuff. So I just have to make sure that I'm telling you this. So when it comes to your titles, just as a heads up to you, see how you have here, days in my life, bar, ultra haul, book updates, cutting hair, workouts, homeschooling, stay-at-home mom, how you have like all of this stuff crammed in your title. Your title is supposed to be descriptive of like what's going on in the stream, but or what's going on in the video, but it needs to be like succinct and focused. So like right now, it's just like a whole big mess of words where you should focus it on, you know, just like a core thing that would be of interest to the people that you're trying to reach. That will help your videos perform better because it'll help people better identify what's going on. And another thing to keep in mind as well is you have days in my life is like the first thing people see. And when it comes to YouTube, like when you're first getting started, the people that are, you know, going to care about the days in your life, you know, there's going to be on random people on the internet. Of course, you know, people in your regular life and all that stuff are fine, but just randoms on the internet. For those people, like if this shows up in their mobile feed or on their homepage for an example, like if they don't know you yet, then they don't really care about that day in your life, right? So unless you have like an epic thumbnail and there's something crazy happening or something like that, then there's no real reason to optimize around the day in your life yet until you have just a ginormous following. And the reason for that is, again, just because of the interests that people have. You want to make sure that you're focusing everything on their interests and the things that will pull them into the video. And the reason this is so important is because if you look at your title right here, you can see how it gets cut off right here, right? So the only information that somebody has in certain features on YouTube is they have days in my life, ultra haul, book updates, cutting hair, right? And then all that other stuff's getting cut off in a lot of places. So because of that, if you try to keep your character count down to 60 characters or less, if you want to hyper optimize, then keep it down to 52 characters or less. But if you have it at least down to 60 characters or less for the most important core information, then you ensure that the people that you're trying to reach can more clearly understand what it is that you're doing in your content and how it relates to them and their interests in the things that they care about. So, so because of that, just make sure you're thinking of that. Same exact thing here as well. You have like November monthly reset. So that same exact thing, like if I was seeing this on a homepage, even if I was into your content, if I was seeing this on a homepage, like it's resetting what? Like, I don't know, what's going on here. Like there's no real clarity there in terms of what happens before this gets cut off. So what you can do is YouTube, as you're typing in your title, they have a character counter right there. You can also go to something like Character Count Online, and there you can just sit there and, you know, write out a title and it'll show you the character limit. And then you can start saying like, okay, this is where it's going to cut off. This is where it's going to cut off. So I got to make sure the important part's there. But if you do that, that's going to help you a lot. But make sure, like in your case, because you're still working on getting these initial views rolling. So in your particular case, just as a heads up, we're going to do monetization. We're going to, you know, talk about different ways that you can monetize what it is that you're doing, because you do have, you know, opportunities here. But make sure that you are focusing more right now on the clarity with your packaging. And by packaging, I mean topic, title, and thumbnail. So make sure that you are being clear in terms of what it is that you're offering for a very specific audience, and make sure that you're expressing that clarity here. So just one example for this, 10 healthy habits for moms. That's actually good, because there you're targeting moms directly. You're sharing with them, you know, 10 healthy habits. There isn't a compelling element to this, at least before the cutoff, in terms of, you know, daily and weekly habits. That's not compelling. But, you know, 10 healthy habits for moms that will improve how you feel every day. Tons of value there and tons of compellingness to that title that makes it more clickable, right? So just make sure when you're writing your titles, you're thinking of that. But again, this isn't like a channel setup stream, but I just wanted to make sure to mention that, because you know, you want to make sure that in order, like I said a second ago or a few minutes ago, to fully maximize like what it is that you can do on YouTube in terms of, you know, the opportunity on the monetization side, you got to make sure that you're getting all of these things in alignment first, so that you can make sure that, you know, the channel's going to thrive, so that you can really, you know, so that you can really build something awesome, and that you can also get a great benefit from the value that you're going to be providing to your viewers. So I'm gonna move on, because I would love to talk about your thumbs as well. So there's a couple of Facebook groups. So there's one called Tube Ritual. It's Brian G. Johnson's Facebook group. I recommend that you join that group. I also recommend that you join Video Makers and Marketers and join that group. Join both of those. And in both of those groups, I would definitely go in there and I would just post like a thumbnail from time to time. Don't do it all the time, because that, you know, gets annoying to people, but just post it, you know, like from time to time and be like, hey, I'm trying to get my thumbnails better. You know, if this was my video title, Does this thumbnail make sense or whatever? Because there's a lot of great creators in there that will just kind of help lead you in the right direction when it comes to, getting, your thumbnails a little bit better there. So before I get into the monetization part of this really quick, Cody Creations, thanks for the super chat, man, says, hey, is it possible to use Streamyard's giveaway tool with OBS? Also, I'd love to see a gaming channel and monetization options. Yeah, so when a gaming channel wins the thing, then we'll have a gaming channel in here for sure. And there's a lot of gamers that watch my content, so we'll have it. but with that, we'll definitely be doing gaming content. But they just haven't, came into the draw yet. So in your particular case here, but the StreamYard giveaway tool, you can use it anything. If you just go to streamyard.com/giveaway, then that's where their tool is. But here back in her particular case, this is one that's going to be exceptionally important in your case as well, Ashley, is you want to make sure that when it comes to what's happening on your channel page right now, especially while you're trying to get that initial momentum picking up, I would take this out and I would just focus everything on the actions people can take on platform. Grow your Instagram through your video descriptions. And on Instagram, don't worry about that on your YouTube channel page yet. Focus everything right now on the on-platform actions they can take, because every time somebody leaves, they're leaving your content, they're leaving your channel, you're missing the opportunity to get them to watch more of your videos, and you're leading them off of YouTube, which is a negative point, right? So because of that, I would get that off of there. But let's go into one of your videos, see what it is that you have to offer here, and see what it is that you're doing. Okay. So as another thing here, keep in mind, like, you don't have to just, repeat the title here as well. Like when it comes to the description, like the reason that people will typically, repeat what it is that they say in their title or repeat a part of their title is if they're trying to keyword optimize it, which is like a whole other topic, within itself. But basically the reason that people do that is for the sake of, keywords, if they're trying to get their videos to show up in search. So just make sure that when it comes to your description, if there is something very specific that you are going after, mention that in your title, maybe even variations of it in terms of, book updates or, or we'll just do like, cutting hair or, going to get your hair cut, that would be a variation. Cutting hair, going to get your hair cut, right? But the idea is just make sure that you are using this as an actual description versus just putting, copying and pasting the title there and then putting everything else. Another thing as well is I wouldn't even worry about putting this hello everyone here. These are things, again, not related to monetization, but I just have to point them out just because they are, here. And I want to make sure that while we've got you up on screen, that in addition to the monetization stuff that we're talking about, that I can also, kind of bring some of this stuff to your attention as well, because all of these, little details, they matter, especially when, you're operating at scale, which you are on YouTube. Every little moment of clarity that you can add to what it is that you're doing is going to be a benefit for your viewers, which is ultimately going to end up as a benefit for you as well. Okay, we've got all this information here. If you'd like to support Buy Me a Coffee. Okay, fantastic that you have a Buy Me a Coffee link in here as one of the options already. So you're doing the right thing there. I recommend a product use myself and expressed here on my own. So you can links to use, small commission, fantastic. So these, okay, so you do have some Amazon ones in here. Just make sure that you do Google around for the specific disclosure for Amazon because, they can be weird about that. So you are doing affiliate marketing, it looks like, which is a win. Books I'm currently reading, also affiliate marketing. Shop my stuff. You have your own Etsy store. This is great. I'm not sure what this is. Need to post Poshmark, my invite code. Yeah, this is great. So you're doing all the, you're doing the stuff. Everything that you're doing here is fantastic. So on Etsy. Oh, okay. So keep in mind, if you're going to have these links on here, what you don't want to happen is you don't want this to happen, right? Where we click on them and it's like, oh, they're not currently selling anything. So if you are going to be, if you are going to have an Etsy store and you're going to be selling stuff, at least have one thing that you always have available that people can buy if possible. And then here, this is your store here. And then you also encourage other people to go here and then you get a commission for that. Okay, so that's fantastic. So, okay, so those things are all good. Shop these journals designed by me. You're also doing journals. Oh, this is great. So you got your own personal products in here too. Oh, this is great. Oh yeah, you're making my day. Okay, this is great. Okay, so in your case, your mind is in the right place. You're doing the right stuff here. the next thing that you got to do is you got to start working on the best practices in your channel so you can really start bringing attention to this stuff at scale. Like you're doing the stuff, you see the bigger picture, like you're headed in that direction. You just need to focus things in on the actual channel. Let's see, I use royalty-free music from Epidemic Sound. You should be using Creator Mix, but we'll just go ahead and say that this is okay, because it is. I have a lot of Epidemic Sound stuff on my channel too. Just as a heads up, make sure that this email isn't connected directly to your YouTube channel, because that's a starting point for hackers. Plus, this is a place that, spammers, just makes it really easy for them to flood this email address. So just make sure that you do create a separate Google account and a separate Gmail account for public facing emails. That's just a layer of security. And when you put it this way, if it gets scraped or something like that, not a big deal, because then you'll be able to just filter it or whatever. But just make sure that you do add that layer here. So you've got personal products, so you're winning there. You've got affiliate marketing, which is great there. I'm going to make graphics for all this, by the way, for everybody. We're gonna have checklists, all that stuff. I'm just kind of getting into the flow here with this series before I do all that, so I know exactly what's needed. But okay, so you got the personal products, you've got affiliate products, you've got crowdfunding in place. With your type of content, I'm not sure if there's anything you'd be able to do on the consulting side if you're not doing that already. Let me look at the videos overall. So another thing that I want to let you know here as well, Ashley, is you are doing a lot of variety here. So like here you have like, September YouTube analytics, how did my channel do, right? Like this is cool. And this is outside of monetization. This is just something because you've got a lot of the things in place. I just want to bring to your attention because it's really important when it comes to YouTube. So right here, you have like the day in your life. You've got this monthly reset thing with goal setting and all of that. You've got 10 healthy habits for mom. You've got ranking the last 5 books that you've read. This doesn't really seem targeted towards moms, but in that particular case, it's just books that you've read. Down here, you're like sharing your YouTube analytics. So one thing that's really important when it comes to YouTube is making sure that you understand who it is that you're making your content for. And the reason that's important is because it helps you make decisions around the content that you're making. It helps you better resonate with the people that you're trying to reach. It helps you understand the problems they have, the things they like, don't like, or things they don't like, things they like, and all that. So one thing to consider is like if somebody's going to come into your content for like a day in my life thing, or we'll just say 10 healthy habits for moms. So let's say moms are coming into your content like, oh, hey, this is great. Yeah, those are some great healthy habits. I'm going to start deploying those. I love this channel. She's great. I'm going to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And then you publish this video about your YouTube analytics. The people that are going to show up for this video and click on that particular video, they're not going to care about this video, right? There's going to be a whole different group of people that are going to care about this video. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you're publishing content that you're thinking about like first that you design like, okay, this is my avatar. This is the type of person that I'm trying to reach. This is the type of things they'd be interested in, type of problems they're having, the type of things they like, don't like, things like that, like I was saying before, which in your case could be moms, it could be busy moms, it could be professional moms, it could be stay-at-home moms. I would get more clarity on that too. And then when you start serving that particular audience, the win is that YouTube detects that you are, not that you are doing something, they detect that it's only a certain type of viewer that's clicking on most of your content. And then especially at the individual video level. But what happens is they start recommending more of your content to more people like those viewers. So what you're doing here with the audience identifier for moms, that's a huge win because dads, guys aren't going to click on that because, they're not moms, right? They're dads. So because of that, you're going to get the right people clicking on those videos compared to the wrong people clicking on this. And this will help you if you can fine tune that. That's going to help YouTube better show your content to the right people and just be more accurate in its recommendations. But it's also going to make it to where when you publish videos like this, moms are going to click on them. And how you're currently doing it when they see this video, if they watch this, if they're not interested, YouTube's still going to show them to this. If they're going to show them this video if they loved this one, and vice versa. And if the people that watch this video don't care about this, then they're not going to click on it, which is going to hurt your click-through rate. If the people that watch this don't click on this when YouTube recommends it because they recommend your past archive, then what's going to happen there is it's going to hurt your click-through rate here, and it's going to hurt the video performance. But if you can dial all of that in, it's going to help you perform better overall. So if you understand who you're making content for, make content for those people, design everything around those people. And of course, it has to be in alignment with the things that you enjoy and like to make and all that, but you make it for them. And by doing that, it will help accelerate your growth, because then YouTube will better know who to show your content to based on how you've targeted your content. So hopefully that makes sense. But I would definitely start working on those things. But from our list on the monetization side, so right now, just because of the current view counts that you're getting, I wouldn't worry about like sponsorships and things like that now. That's definitely in your future with what it is that you're doing. So, you know, as you're getting everything else together, because you're clearly well-versed in like making stuff. So I would definitely, if you don't have it yet, I would go ahead and just start working on the side, start working on like a media kit and things like that, so that once you get your average view count up a little bit, you can start reaching out to sponsors, because the type of content you're making. And if you are going after moms, for example, then that's like I mean, that is a great audience that you can monetize in a bunch of different ways, but one of those is through sponsorships. So I would definitely, you know, start working on that since you know how to make stuff. In terms of digital products, it looks like you've already got like planners that you're selling and things like that, so you're good there. Services, on the service side of things, you know, if you are doing anything where you are you know, like here you're doing like organizational type things and stuff like that. So if you do like, you know, organizing for people and things like that, you could offer that as a service that you could do virtually or in person in your area, you know, as another option as well, on the service side. And then for physical products, I mean, technically you're kind of doing that already if they can order some of these things and have them show up in the mail. So you're already doing, you know, that kind of thing as well, which is definitely taking them in the right step. So yeah, in terms of what it is that you're doing, like your mind's in the right place and you're going to do awesome. But one thing that I would definitely make sure that you're doing is just getting more clear on who it is that you're reaching with your content, so that as you are, you know, putting your content out, it ensures that it's going to go in front of the right people. And by doing that, it's going to help you just overall perform better on the platform. And as you start performing better on the platform, the stuff that you're already doing is, you know, like that will probably be enough. But I would definitely try to, you know, open yourself up to additional things in the future, you know, like merch, because I didn't see merch in there anywhere. But basically I would open yourself up to more things in the future. But right now, because you understand in terms of like, hey, I've already got affiliate stuff set up, like you understand those processes. So I would just double down on trying to better understand YouTube and just trying to fine tune the audience that you're trying to reach, so that you can make your entire channel more valuable to your viewers, to yourself, to sponsors, and to anybody that you promote as an affiliate as well. So since you're already doing a lot of the stuff, I wish I could help you, you know, more. But I think that, you know, in your case, the thing to do more than anything else would be to focus on the actual, you know, the channel performance. So with that said, again, this stream is made possible by Uscreen. Uscreen is kind of like a Netflix that you can have, that you can charge people for, all based around your content. So if you make any type of how-to content, it's a great fit for you. If you make anything where you can offer additional content to your viewers for a fee, Uscreen offers subscription services where people can pay monthly. You can have people rent videos. You can have like paid live streams and things like that. But you can check that out through the link in the description below, or of course you can go to uscreen.tv and check that out. So now, one thing that I didn't do before that we are going to do right now is, in our last live stream, we did not do a Q&A. And since we didn't do a Q&A, I know that a lot of people were, you know, possibly, and I don't know this, but I'm just going to assume that some people were left like not, you know, kind of walking away and being like, hey, that sounds great, but I don't really, you know, there's some questions that I had. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a really short Q&A right here. So if you do have any questions about any of the stuff that I mentioned, you know, during this entire live stream today, go ahead and drop it in the chat right now. Just put a Q in front of it, so then that way I know that your question is for me, and then I'll answer as many as I can before we head off here, because we got just, you know, like a handful of minutes left before I'm going to close this down. So if you do have a question about any of the stuff that I've mentioned about monetization when it comes to YouTube, just go ahead and put it in the description. So Monique says, thanks, Nick. Notes are made. I need to finish the book so I can concentrate 100% on YouTube. Oh, you're writing a book too. Nice. So Dan Wilton says, hey, Nick, quick question. Can you tell us which is the best website development tool to use to start marketing on your website? So it depends on what you're doing. So for example, if you're doing, like if you're going to build like a 1-page website about like your YouTube channel, then in that case, you can do that in like Wix or Squarespace or something like that. But if you're going to build something to where you have like resources available, you got multiple pages, things like that, you can use those types of services. But if you want full control, then in that case, you can use something like WordPress. But keep in mind, when you use like Squarespace and Wix, just as examples, I'm not endorsing either one, but I'm just saying as an example, then in that case, they pretty much have it all set up to where you don't have to worry about hosting. Like it's all included into the one thing. So it's not a very complicated process. So you can use those types of services to get the job done. But if you do, they have free plans and they have paid plans. Get a paid plan. And the reason I'm telling you this is because when you go to a website and then at the very bottom, it has a thing pop up. It says like, hey, start your own Wix account, blah, blah, blah. Then it distracts the person from what it is that you're trying to bring attention to, right? And it also makes what it is that you're doing look extremely low quality because it's like, oh, like they're using like a free website for this. So it just kind of lowers the value of everything it is that you're doing. So because of that, if you are using those, just make sure you get a paid version. But if you want to go the complicated route, which is the route that I choose just because I know how to do this stuff, you set up a hosting account. You can do that through GoDaddy as an example. You can do it through like WPX. You can do it through like there are all kind of different hosting accounts, but you can GoDaddy is like a really popular one. But you can create a hosting account there. You can get your domain name at GoDaddy as well, and there's a bunch of other registrars there for your domain name, which is your actual website name. And then you could use WordPress that you would install into your account that you have hosted. So whatever hosting account you get, it's extremely likely that they already have a wizard that you can go through to where you hit install WordPress, and then you go through the process of setting up your WordPress. And then from there, you would either hop into Envato Elements or you would hop into Theme Forest or another place that provides WordPress themes. And then you would download a theme that you would, enjoy. You would pay for this, but you download a theme and then you upload that theme into your WordPress site, and then it will kind of create the look and feel of your site. And then you just go in and customize it from there. So that version, there's a learning curve attached to it, but it gives you full control of everything it is that you're doing. Whereas if you're using like Squarespace or Wix or one of those, it's the easiest way to get started, and it's fine to get started that way, but it's the easiest way to get started. But they do come with restrictions in terms of like how you can make things look and all of that. Really good question though. Shelly Saves, hey, we need to talk, by the way, but says for a simple site, if you buy a domain from Google, you can build a Google site for free. So there's another fantastic option for you. So let's see here. So as we keep going, just looking for cues. So everything with Nurse Sandy says, how do we get legit affiliate programs to sign up to? So what you want to do is based on the type of, this is a great question. So based on the type of content that you make, if you just hop on Google and you type in affiliate program for, or like beauty health affiliate program, or technology affiliate program, or live streaming affiliate programs, or let's see what else we got in here. Tarot card affiliate programs, anything like that, like for everybody here, based on whatever type of content that you make, just looking for that type of content and then affiliate programs after it. That's one way. In addition to that, you can also do high paying affiliate programs as well as another search term. You can also use another one that is, whatever the type of content it is that you make, you put that in front and then put recurring affiliate programs. So the difference is, if you have an affiliate program that is just driving you, and this is a power tip for anybody that's trying to make money on YouTube as an affiliate, if you are driving to something like Amazon, then what happens is that's great. In some cases, people make tons of money on Amazon, especially if the intent is there. So like if you're doing reviews of products, things like that, Amazon is great for it. But when you drive people to Amazon, you're relying on like one sale at a time. And depending on how your channel's doing that month and things like that, like your sales are going to be all over the place. However, if you can find things around the type of content that you make that are recurring, which means that if somebody buys it and they pay for it every month, just like with Uscreen as an example, but if they pay for it every month, then in that particular case, you get a payment every single month that person's a member of it. And then what happens if the type of content that you make has affiliate programs that does have that recurring option is that just balloons over time, and it becomes very dependable income, because then you can start to get a gauge of, okay, I'm driving this many sales, this many people are leaving as I'm driving this many sales. So as long as I keep it around this ballpark, then I'm still going to make like, X amount of thousands of dollars per month off of, this particular recurring, thing that I promote as an affiliate. So when it comes to looking for them though, you want to look for, the type of content you make and then affiliate program after that, and just start, looking around. And then when you find the ones that you're interested in, then you want to make sure that you are looking, and researching, those particular companies, their affiliate programs, look for people complaining about their affiliate programs, those sorts of things. And by doing that, that gives you the ability to, find things that are directly related to the type of content that you make. Other things is, the fact that we had a D&D website with an affiliate program on it, like that speaks volumes in terms of what's available out there, right? But when it comes to affiliate programs as well, also keep in mind, for those of you that do make any type of course-related content or any type of how-to related content, you can also promote, in some cases, other people's courses as an affiliate as well. So if you go through a course and you're like, wow, this is great, I got tons of value here, my viewers would love this, then in that case, you can also bring attention to that as an affiliate, and then you don't even have to deal with the headache of creating a course. You can just promote, somebody else's course as an affiliate as well. But by sending people over there, you're losing that kind of, connection with those people, because, they'll get into that person's email address and all of that. So make sure that if you are going to take that approach, if you want to be like super, intentional about what it is that you're doing, make sure that you drive them into your email first to sign up for something that you offer. And then as part of the drip sequence that you set up, and what a drip sequence is, for those of you that are not aware, is a drip sequence is when somebody signs up for whatever it is that you offer, for them to put in their email, then there's a series of emails that will go out on autopilot after they sign up for whatever thing. So as part of your drip, then you would add in that other person's course or whatever. So they're finding it that way after they're already in your email, in your email list. So like as an example, for anybody here, I don't know, because I don't really promote it anymore, but I have a thing where I have like a VIP site. And on that VIP thing, people can go in there, they can get graphics, things like that. I've got it in old videos, so it still drives a bunch of emails every day. But as part of that, when somebody goes into that, there's an 11 email sequence drip that happens after that. And that drip that happens, there's 11 emails that goes out, and really I should expand that out to like a full year. But out of those 11 emails that go out, they're value-packed emails, but then some of them also lead to things that I promote as an affiliate and have driven a substantial amount of income just out of having that thing happen on autopilot. And all I do is mention it in videos, and I haven't even mentioned it in like years in a video, and they still drive sales like all the time. So in terms of the power of that type of thing, it's ridiculous. So let's see here. So a girl in her passport says, what are the thoughts on Patreon levels? So I think Patreon levels are fine as long as you have different things to offer. So if you have, if you're like, okay, there's only like one really, like I really just want to focus on just giving like this to my viewers, then in that case, just have one tier and just make it to where they just do that. But if you're like, hey, I want to, make it to where, people can just donate if they just use it as a way to support the channel. But then I also want to have some, very specific tiers to what's going on. And I do have things that I can offer with those. And I do have the time to, make the content for those and all of that. Then in that case, having, additional levels is definitely something to consider there. Let's see here. So one thing also, by the way, cause you come and hang out in the members live streams when we do those. So I'm actually considering with our member streams, I'm actually considering changing what we're doing there. So currently we're like looking at channels and stuff, which is great. But it's extremely slow in terms of the information that everybody gets. So I'm considering kind of splitting those up and doing like some where we're looking at channels and then doing some that are like, like training type of things. And if I do that, then the training ones will actually be behind an additional tier. Just for, reference there on how that works. But before that happens though, I'll do like a test series that everybody will already get access to. So Footprints AM says, what is tracking links and how do we do it? So great question. So when it comes to tracking links, you have different options. So one of the options that you have, like if you look in my description right now, you're going to see that some of my links, I'll bounce them off of my website. So when I bounce them off of my website, I use a affiliate plugin for that. And that affiliate plugin allows me to where when somebody clicks on one of the links in my description, then it will redirect them to my website before sending them to wherever that link goes. So what that does is that allows me to cross-reference the traffic that I'm sending to things that I promote with the clicks that I'm getting as well. So then that helps me keep an eye on conversions and things like that. That helps me ensure that everybody that I'm, sending traffic to is above board, because, there is a thing when it comes to affiliate programs where some people can be shady and stuff like that. So it just, ensures that, everything's above board and all that on my end. Plus, for those of you that are just getting started, just as a heads up, you can also leverage that. So like if you do set up the tracking links, like if you set up a website and then you have like links bouncing off of it like I do, then you can also use that as your channel grows to where you start noticing like, hey, I'm able to start driving a lot of clicks now. So because of that, I'm going to start collecting this data when I make videos. And then when I start trying to work with sponsors, then you have data in terms of how many clicks that you can drive on a per video basis or on a series of videos or over the course of, a certain period of time. And then that gives you negotiation ammo, so to speak, when it comes to, your dealings with sponsors. So you can do that sort of thing as well. But another thing when it comes to tracking is you can also go like a bare bones basic way. So you'll see in a lot of people's descriptions, they'll have bit.ly links. So those are just link shorteners. And you can get some of those for free, but you really want a paid version of it so you can like customize the links and all of that. But you can use bit.ly links. And by doing that, it's just going to show how many people are actually clicking on what it is that you have. And by doing that, it's going to help you also prioritize the things that your community is most interested in. That's also going to help you notice like, hey, when I make these types of videos, people seem to click on these links more than when I make these types of videos. And depending on how aggressive you are on the monetization side of things, that can also kind of ensure that you're making the right content, at the right cadence to ensure that you keep, the cash register going based on whatever it is that you're trying to do. And then of course you have Google UTM links, which is where you put your links behind Google UTM links and then you drive them that way. And then you can actually do that if you're sending to like your own website and those sorts of things. Or if you can also, work with the companies on the back end. But basically when you are driving people to your own website and you're using UTM links there, then that actually gets tracked in your Google Analytics, not YouTube, but that gets tracked in your Google Analytics. And then you can actually go into those for your website. And then you'll be able to see the actual flow that people are having once they come on your website through those links as well. And you can also set up like conversion stuff in there to where you'll be able to track all the way through. Like if you have like, let's say from your YouTube channel, you're sending people to like an e-commerce store to download like whatever digital products you have. Then in that particular case, you can set it up to all the way through to where they click on this link from my YouTube channel. But then once they click on that link, I'm going to redirect it off of my website just so that I can shorten the link. And then it's going to end up going, to my website anyway, and through this shortened link. And then once they land on that, then they hit these particular pages, they click on these products, and then you'll be able to start getting information on how many of those people actually converted on your website as well, which is pretty awesome. So, you can do that in a few different ways, just based on, the detail that you want and where it is that you're sending traffic and how you want to organize things. So another power tip for you guys is if you do promote things as an affiliate, it's also helpful. In some cases, I do this. Like if I have a really good relationship with the companies, then in that case, I'll just have like, raw links going through. In most cases, sometimes I'll still put them behind something. But then in other cases, I'll put them behind, the link where I redirect it to my site. But this is also came in extremely helpful. So for example, like sometimes some affiliate programs will actually update their linking structures and they'll send out a notice like Rev did this, or they'll change their affiliate program and they're like, hey, guess what? Now we're gonna, cut your commissions in half. And then you're like, oh my God, I've got all these links and they're all different and all this stuff in my description. But if you have them bouncing off of your own website to where you're telling your website, hey, if somebody clicks this link, it goes to my website, then it sends them here, then you just have to go and you just have to update that one link. And then it just redirects all those links on your YouTube channel. It just changes where that link goes from there without you having to go in and change everything on your YouTube channel. Great question. Let's see here. So how does one go to get a channel review like you just did? So first off, we do these. There's a pretty decent queue in there now, but we do these in our channel member groups on our Facebook group. We do those. But when it comes to here, it's just a random draw. So I use Streamyard's giveaway tool. And then basically I have everybody put in a hashtag. And then when they put in that hashtag, then it just randomly selects people. So that's how that happens. For email marketing your YouTube channel, this is from Carolina Love. It says, for email marketing your YouTube channel, what website can you use for free? I tried Hotspot, but I didn't like my YouTube link and I don't have a main website for email marketing. Okay, so if you are going to be doing email marketing, then you do need to set up some type of service and you're probably going to have to pay for it because any free thing that you use is going to have branding attached to it. So since it has that branding attached to it, then it kind of lowers the value of what it is that you are doing there, especially if you're like collecting emails and stuff. So I recommend actually just getting like a really low, like you can get like hosting plans for like $5 a month. I think you can even do like Wix sites for like $5 a month or something like that. Like it's super cheap in order to just have something that you can continually drive traffic to and that you can like depend on. I would do that because like the free versions, I mean, Shelly Save says that if you get your name through Google, that they'll give you a free website, but I'm not sure in terms of the complexity of the website that you can build. That might be all that you need. However, if it doesn't allow you to do all of the stuff, or if they have certain things in terms of their terms and conditions that might be limiting there, then I would definitely try to find a paid resource for that. So the project equestrian says, how do you know how a video in particular converts to off-platform links? You make unique tracking links for each one of those things. So if you're trying to, get an understanding of how your audience responds to certain types of content in your channel, then you would make a unique link for each one of those things. And then you would put a unique link in each type of, or each description for each video that you put out. So instead of just having like one link that you put across a bunch of descriptions like I'm currently doing, you would have how I used to do it, which is you would have one link and that one link is just for that video. And then if people, click on that, then you start to notice, hey, let me just go look and see, where this link is or what video it's attached to. And then that shows you the videos that are, sending people to the right places. Let's see here. How can I recap what you said in the fitness advice? It was quite awesome. Yeah, this is going to be available on the replay, so you'll be able to watch it there. The Traffic Street Beat says, does your RPM go up over time? So it can based on what it is that you do. So basically, your RPM is how much you are generating per 1,000 views, or how much you're getting for 1,000 views. But everything's attached to that that's happening on YouTube. So for example, one super chat can offset your RPM. If you start collecting memberships, then those can offset your RPM. If you're getting super chats, super stickers, those types of things, super thanks can offset your RPM. So as you start, deploying more features and as your audience gets bigger, your RPM can go up over time depending on what you're doing. How to pick a topic about gaming channels in specific. So our conversation today, Milio, is about monetization. So for that, all of our questions that we're answering today are about, monetizing a YouTube channel. But for that particular question, definitely feel free to swing by the live stream that we do every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern, where we're answering general questions. Those streams typically go for about 3 hours or so. So just make sure that you swing by Saturday and we'll try to get you sorted over there. Do you assess people's channels for a fee for all? I'm very interested in learning more. Thank you. At this moment in time, I'm not taking on any new clients for that. It's definitely something that I've offered in the past. And, same with consulting and all of that. Right now, I'm not taking on anybody new though, because I'm focusing on, getting, things moving on some other projects right now, but I will be doing that again here in the somewhat near future. Is it a good idea to add digital products to your website and Etsy to ensure broad reach with SEO? Yeah, like when you are putting, like in your case, if you are, adding articles to your website and they're like fully, they're optimized articles, then that's just one more chance that you're giving yourself. So because of that, creating a website and then building an article off of that, website, or actually trying to build an authority around, the type of content that you make or the service that you offer in your case. And this is for Poop Scoops for Noobs. In that case, building a website, and then, continually putting articles out there, driving traffic to it from your YouTube channel. Also trying to drive traffic to it from like Pinterest posts and, other places online where you can kind of link back to your website is definitely something that you would, want to do. But in terms of adding digital products and Etsy to ensure a broad reach, when you do create an Etsy store, you can name it, and that can, because that place has some weight. Same thing with creating subreddits and creating Reddit posts that would lead back to your store. Those types of things are also additional things that you can do as well. Basically anything that you create online that you can point back to, the things that you have available for sale is definitely something to consider. Is there a threshold for how many watch hours you're supposed to reach after monetization? So this one's more about watch time, but you mentioned monetization, so we'll go for it anyway. In terms of the threshold, because this is about monetization though. So in terms of the threshold after you reach watch time, after you reach the watch time requirements, you still have to continue that, the requirements within a 365-day period. So because of that, once you hit the subscriber milestone, you've reached that, you're good to go. But in terms of their watch time requirements, you have to make sure that you're continually hitting that within a 365-day period. Let's see here. So thumbnails for shorts, yes or no? That's not a monetization question, but it's an easy one to answer. Yes, make sure that you do make thumbnails for your shorts, just as the best practice. So what is the VPH Red tool that you have the plugin on YouTube? This is from Cody, Codyations. So the one that was showing the views per hour, that's a tool called Tube Spanner. I mentioned that a lot in my live streams. It basically has all kinds, it's like a toolkit for YouTube. So like TubeBuddy and vidIQ and all these other tools, like they're awesome in terms of like helping you like grow your channel and helping you optimize for keywords, understand your thumbnail performance and things like that. Awesome tools. But there's a lot of things that they don't offer that content creators need. Tube Spanner's filling all those holes. So for example, they've got script writing tools in there. They've got the views per hour thing, which is kind of a crossover feature with another tool, but they have that in there. They've got where you can take notes during live streams. During this conversation, you'd be able to take notes. I mention it pretty much every live stream that I do in my main live stream. They've got links in bios where you can feature videos. If you look in my description right now, you should see one. If not, you can see it on my Twitter account or maybe the last live stream that I did to where it links directly to my link in bio. And I feature like a YouTube video there. I've got like a subscribe call to action. I've got links to everything else that I'm doing. I can add like a custom background image for branding. I can adjust all the colors and stuff. It's awesome. And I'm helping them, like I'm making content over there, also helping just kind of, come up with ideas in terms of features that we need as content creators. So if anybody has any features that, that you could use as a content creator, definitely feel free to shoot me an email through my business inquiry email address. And I'll definitely kind of put them in my notes for, things when we're coming up with additional features to create. But Tube Spanner is the name of that. And you can find out more about that. I got a link to that down in my description as well, or you can go to tubespanner.com. So here, anxiety is not having a question prepared because you didn't know there would be a Q&A portion. It's all good. Yeah, in your case, if you're not doing it yet, just real quick, I would definitely be sharing, because you're already promoting Canva as an affiliate, I would definitely be having like templates that you have available that people can buy, template packs that people can buy, those sorts of things that you'd be able to sell off your YouTube channel, because in your case, some of your content is also helping like content creators. So having like, hey, here's, 100 or 50 different thumbnail templates to kind of help you get started with making thumbnails in Canva. Like that's something that you could sell. Channel art templates is something that you could sell. In-screen templates is something that you could sell. Like you have a lot of options since you're doing like graphic related things on your channel, in addition to like, selling training and that kind of stuff. Let's see here. Is about today's topic. Yeah, so right now I'm just looking for questions on monetization. So we got Martha Harris says, to sell merch, do you have to have a certain amount of subscribers to sell? No, you do not. So in order to have the product shelf underneath your videos, you have to be in the partner program for that. And then that will allow you to sell merch, and you can even connect like a Shopify store to it, to sell like digital downloads and things like that as well, because you can add multiple stores to one product shelf. So you have that once you're in the partner program, but when it comes to selling stuff through merch, you can still put the link in your description. So because of that, you can go to like spreadshop.com. You can create a store there. You can upload whatever graphics you want. You can even make them on Canva. You can go to Creator Classroom to see how to make this stuff. But you go and you can make some cool designs for your community on Canva, and then you can upload those to your Spreadshop store. None of it costs you anything. And then when somebody when you make a sale or somebody makes a purchase, then you will get a commission from anything that you have that you've sold over there. Let's see here. Okay, so the Green Vegan has a great question. It says, should we just focus on getting 1,000 before thinking of adding all these great recommendations? So that's what I was telling Ashley before in terms of like, doing all of the monetization options is great. And you should get these, deployed as fast as you possibly can. So as your channel grows, your income grows, because you never know if your next video is going to take off or not. So because of that, getting those things in place is important. However, focusing all of your attention on that when your channel isn't doing that great is something to where it's like, okay, well, let me get my channel at least heading in a upward trajectory first, instead of it being like stagnant or you maybe on the decline or maybe kind of going like this. Let me get some type of upward trajectory going first, even if it's slight, before I start focusing my energy on this. Because the reason that's important to get that upward trajectory going first is because you need to make sure that you are focusing on the things that are going to help get the channel moving. Because if you can't get the channel moving, then none of the other stuff can happen, right? So because of that, focus on getting that upward trajectory first. Even if you have 500 subscribers, as long as you're heading in this direction, it's fine. Go ahead and start getting the stuff in place. But if you're like, hey, you're like, I'm at 1,000 subscribers still, and I'm just having trouble, keeping it going, then in that case, still focus on keeping it going, right? But I do recommend that everybody, even if you are just focused on your channel, that you do at the very least pick one thing, be it buy me a coffee, be it merch, be it something. Pick one thing and sign up for that, and then get that in your video description, right? So then that way you at least have one thing attached that, that you could have the potential to make money from, if somebody chooses to, to be a part of it. Okay. So on that note, everybody, I hope that you got some value out of this. Again, this stream was made possible by Uscreen.tv, so make sure that you check them out if you are interested in monetizing your channel in additional ways. It's kind of like a Netflix for your content, where you can charge a fee to upload additional content for your viewers. Something, maybe you deep dive on something, or maybe you go into more detail on something because you're not trying to do it for the sake of, getting watch time and holding attention, but you're doing it for the sake of adding value. In that case, that's where you want to, make sure that you are considering, Uscreen for that. But again, you can check them out at uscreen.tv, or I've got a link to them down in the description, as well as, since we're talking about monetization, as well as a bunch of other helpful things that you can use on your YouTube channel as well. Link down in my video description also. So make sure that you do check that stuff out, when you get the chance. And besides that, really quick, Cha-Ching King says, do you think it's beneficial to set your own ad breaks or just let YouTube do it? So set your own if you are very specific about, like, let's say you're teaching somebody something and you're like, man, if one comes before this, or you're doing entertainment content and you're like, hey, I'm building up this story, so if an ad break comes here, it's going to destroy my story, then in that case, do it manually. But if you are like, hey, my content is pretty flexible, and if somebody does get interrupted with an ad, not a big deal, then in that case, just let YouTube decide. But everybody have an awesome rest of your week. I think I have a video set to publish tomorrow, so make sure you keep an eye out for that one. In addition to that, I've got the news that I'll be giving you on Friday that impacts content creators like you, so make sure that you swing by Friday to check that out. And then, of course, I have my Nimmin live stream that I do on Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So if you enjoyed this, then you'll also enjoy that stream as well if you haven't participated over there. So everybody have an awesome rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for hanging out.